court yesterday on an urgent basis to compel the organizations to stop the shootings, which claimed 5 lives this week. 9 other people were wounded in fresh violence at taxi ranks in Philippi East, Khayelitsha and Makassar. The attacks are linked to a feud between Carter and Coretta over a route from Ekurhuleni and Khayelitsha to Somerset West. Wendy says the interdict will be in effect until the 9th of October, when the court will decide whether to make it permanent.
We really urge these taxi associations to return to the negotiations to find lasting solutions. They must always be putting their commuters or their customers first. These are the residents of our province. This is an absolute non-negotiable.
He adds that the minibus taxi industry is a crucial part of the province's public transport system.
They move 2 million people in the city of Cape Town every single day. It is a critical component to our public transport system. We don't want to be ending up in court and using these measures, but levers of last resort.
There are calls for the South African Social Security Agency and Postbank to reconsider their decision to end their partnership. The master service agreement between the two parties is set to expire at the end of next month. Although the decision not to renew their contract has raised concerns about the payment of social grants, government has reassured beneficiaries that there won't be disturbances to the disbursement of social grants. Trade Union Kiwusa says it's struggling to understand the logic behind the decision to end the contractual agreement. Kiwusa President Mametle Sebei.
The original purpose of the South African Post Bank and its service agreement with SASSA was always to provide a reliable, affordable and accessible public banking service to the poor. This decision speaks on that mandate, especially when there is absolutely no evidence of the failure of South African Post Bank to deliver on the terms of the service agreement or anything that can be corrected.
The key witness in the Lusiki massacre trial has revealed that accused one Mzukisi Ndamase has committed murders while inside prison cells. The witness was a fellow prison inmate and a close confidant of the accused. Ndamase stands accused of orchestrating the Lusiki massacre, in which 18 people were shot and killed in Gobozana village in September last year. He and his 5 co-accused are back in the Mthatha High Court, sitting in Lusiki for the trial. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
The state's key witness returned to the stand this morning. He has testified that in 2021, accused one Mzukisi Ndamase called him while behind bars. He says he asked him to monitor the movements of someone named Snane, a long-time friend of Ndamase, who he allegedly claimed had neglected him after he was jailed. The witness says the accused later ordered him to kill Snane. However, he says he refused to do so as he had no intention to commit murder. He says in August 2023, Ndamase called him again, informing him that he had killed a woman named Nomakosi for allegedly bewitching his mother. He also told him one of his soldiers carried out the hit on Nomakosi and another person. The court proceedings continue as the state prosecutor Advocate Makubalo leads evidence. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusiki.
And in the UK, Jessie J has cancelled her upcoming tour dates, revealing she'll be undergoing a second operation as part of her treatment for breast cancer. The singer announced in early June she'd be diagnosed with early breast cancer and that she was undergoing treatment. The 37-year-old was due to tour the UK and Europe in October before gigs in the United States in November. The UK and Europe dates have been postponed until April next year, while the US tour has been cancelled. In your financials, gold is trading at $3,414.98 an ounce. The rand is 17.71 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, and 20.64 to the euro. Brent crude is $68.20 a barrel.
Well, at this stage in the Midrand area, if you're heading towards Centurion, slow-moving traffic. This is between Allendale Road and the Samrand off-ramp. That's on the N1 northbound. Also, bumper-to-bumper traffic in the Edenvale area heading towards Bedford View, R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gululi's interchange. And in Roodepoort, heading towards Leratong, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Randfontein Road between Collet and Adcock.
In your sport, Bayanda Walaza's World Championship campaign in doubt due to a hamstring injury. Springbok women look to seal quarter-final spot at the Rugby World Cup. And Chris Froome undergoes successful back surgery.
Gauteng can expect clear skies tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 15, peaking at 28. Pretoria 15 and 30. Vereeniging also at 15 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The South African Transport and Allied Workers Union is calling on law enforcement agencies to monitor the taxi strike in Ekurhuleni closely to avoid it from spreading and becoming violent.
EWN In Touch. in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock. Welcome to it. You're on 702. It's afternoon drive. John is not here. Thabo is in for John. And I'm happy to be in your company. We've got quite a lot to deal with. This, that, and the other. And the news cycle doesn't stop. We want to touch on various things. And in John's absence, I won't move furniture. Your regular features will be here. A song, a book, and a dish. As you expected, we'll be talking to Professor Seth Cooper. And he'll give us his insights on those three things that I've just mentioned. That's coming up much later on the show. And before that, Randall's One Song is also here. And Randall will dazzle us with one of his tunes. And he always moves from one extreme to the other. I look forward to what he has to share with us today on Randall's One Song. And of course, in the news cycle, Ekurhuleni has been on fire. The taxi industry is not happy at all. They claim that some of the vehicles have been impounded unfairly by the authorities. This comes to the demise of commuters who have been battling to move from one place to the other. Is the taxi industry holding South Africa hostage? This is on the backdrop of what happened in Maponya Mall not too long ago, what is taking place in Cape Town between those two taxi associations, and most importantly, what is currently taking place in Ekurhuleni. We want to understand and know a little bit more about that situation right now. Furthermore, on the show, NERSA electricity era. We want to speak to the minister. Our team has been running around trying to get hold of Minister Khosientsho Ramokgopa to give us a bit of insights on that story. You pay for electricity and it's only fair that you get your money's worth. So all that and more on the show. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. The number hasn't changed. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, you can get hold of us using your text messages or your voice notes, only if you send them to 072-702-1702. Equally so, we are on YouTube Live. You can catch us there. And if you care much about TikTok, we are also there. I've put us up on my TikTok page. Feel free to interact with us on any of those platforms. The team is here and they are ready to get us going. Karabo presses many buttons in front of many screens. She is the technical producer and she's making sure that I come out as clearly as possible and connecting both you and I. And the other Karabo Charlie, is looking at the roads, making sure that on this last Friday of the month, you get home safely, which routes to avoid, which traffic lights are not working, and if you can help it, not to be stuck in traffic. And Jonathan Fairbairn is the producer, and of course working with Jonathan Fairbairn is Refuwe, the two producers of the show, and of course you're the main ingredient. We can't do it without you. You could be anywhere else, but you choose to be with us. We don't take that lightly. We take that very seriously, and we appreciate you for it. Speaking of Refuwe, she's joining us right now in the studio, and as we kick off our discussions. Good afternoon to you. The show has officially begun.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Yeah, welcome back. One of the things that always gets me into trouble, especially when I get home, are these talkers that we have with the team. They get me into serious boiling water every time after the show, but I do them gladly, and I'll keep doing them all the time. Unlike Karabo Charlie, I'm not a coward and I'm not scared of getting into trouble at home.
I'm already nervous of what you're talking. But I'm good. Thanks. Good afternoon.
You good?
I'll try. I'm waiting for the talk, and then I'll tell you after the talk.
Then you'll tell me whether you're good or not. Refu, I hope you're well. How's everything?
Good afternoon, Prodigal Son, and to the rest of the 702 family.
Oh, I love my new name. P.S. Prodigal Son. I love that. Rufu, I wanted to ask you first. Looking at various professions that we have, are there people that you wouldn't date who specifically come out of certain professions? That you're thinking, if this person is a lawyer, I wouldn't date them. Professions that you wouldn't date at all because of their reputation, their tendencies, and generally perceptions around them.
You know, I've really thought about this very carefully. And I'll be honest, I'm two minds about this, but let me answer the question. If I am here. All right, we're now Prodigal Son. I wouldn't, and I'm saying this very carefully, you know. I wouldn't date lawyers. I mean, I have dated a couple. You know, you need to speak from experience. The ones I've dated, you know, and you can't judge people based on like 2 or 3 people that you've dated in the profession. They're very erratic, impulsive, not spontaneous, impulsive. I'll give you examples with my last ex. It was, you get a call at 2 a.m. on, let's get matching tattoos. And it's always the energy, we live for today. You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. And also the consumption of alcohol I was questioning. I'm like, you can't drink every day, all day. Life can't be a celebration all day.
So is it prevalent amongst people in the legal?
3. I just saw the 3. I can only talk about the 3 I dated.
Yeah. So there was a pattern.
Yeah.
One, you said lawyers drink quite a lot.
The ones I dated, let's make sure we're
Yeah. I mean, we must generalize.
I don't get in trouble with the law fraternity. Yes, they were
LPC.
drinking, very impulsive. And also, I don't know, because of the long hours, the mood swings, you know. I know sometimes you go through the most, but the most can't be every day. You know?
So you wouldn't date a lawyer again? Not at all?
I would have to be convinced, like, properly.
Yeah, but if someone came and said, hey, what do you do? I do this and
that's
I'm a lawyer.
That's great for you. I would say that's great for you. God bless you. Keep the struggle going. It's been real. I wouldn't.
Which professions wouldn't you date? Please let us know on 0727021702. You, Garabo?
Mine is pretty simple. I wouldn't date a police officer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Afraid of the gun.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the gun is part of it because I really don't like guns. And just the nature of the job. Like, you are my beloved, and I don't know if you're gonna come back home. You know that the job is dangerous.
Yeah, but what if she's working in an office?
The mere fact that you're carrying a gun
certifies
every day.
things.
Yeah.
But what if they promote her? They promote her, then she becomes like a detective there, you know.
Yeah, in the thick of things.
In the thick of it. No, I don't think I could. I wouldn't.
So, but what if you met a cop and she was really beautiful, she was your type of lady, and she was your size, and you thought, this is the person that I'd want to share my rest of my life with?
And their hours are very awkward, you know. Like,
there are those who work office hours, bro, like 8 to 4.
Certifying
there are those who work
stamps.
Yeah.
And then, no. The cops, guns, nah.
What about you, Tabo? Because, I mean, you're asking us, but I want to ask you.
Oh, my gosh. You love me getting into trouble,
Let's get in trouble because we're getting in trouble right now.
No,
so my phone is probably ringing.
No,
off
let's
the
do
hook.
it. Let's do it.
Which profession, Tabo?
Teachers, bruh.
Oh, that's
teachers.
the best. I think that's
no,
the best.
Teachers are naughty, bro.
How? They're always home. They get like...
They are building the nation.
No, the SATU union, they go to this thing, teachers thing over the weekends, and our
Are you
teachers.
Speaking from experience?
No, I'm not. I've heard from friends who've told me that teachers are very naughty.
Okay. Well, that's not an honest answer, but all right.
Well, you must tell me. Maybe you want to defend your own profession, or maybe you have got some experience about dating someone from a profession, and that seems to be a pattern and a tendency in that profession. Let us know on 072-702-1702. That's where you can send your voice messages and your text messages to 072-702-1702, or just call us on 011-883-0702. 16 after 3. Garabo Charlie, the roads, how do they look?
Well, looking pretty busy at this hour, particularly if you're heading towards Pretoria. There's bumper-to-bumper traffic in Midrand on the N1 northbound. That's between the Butlu interchange and Samrand. Also, slow-moving traffic. That's in the Bedfordview area on the N3 northbound. This is between the Elands interchange and Geldenhuys. Also coming from Edenville, heading into Bedfordview. There's slow-moving traffic on the R24 westbound. Between Edenville Road and the Kilulis interchange, while in the Roodepoort area heading towards Krugersdorp, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Randfontein Road between Call it and adcock. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings.
8 to midnight.
Willem Elson, Senior Training Coordinator at the Institute for Security Studies. What is Interpol? What is it supposed to do?
Interpol started off with about 1996 countries that formed this union. Interpol became actually the liaison office between the different countries that need to interact. More than that, it also came up with various sets of tools that can be used by your different countries. For instance, if there is a wanted person or a warrant of arrest issued for a wanted person, they can issue a red notice.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again. In, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again and again.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Life has its own rhythm, but muscle and joint pain may upset the beat.
Noflex Gel.
Trust Noflex Gel's triple action formula to target muscle pain, reduce inflammation, and help numb the affected area.
Noflex Gel.
So, get your beat back and reclaim the rhythm of life.
Noflex Gel.
Beat the pain with Noflex Gel and higher strength Noflex Gel Fort. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
Want to save on your next local holiday? Lekker offers amazing deals on local accommodation all year round. From self-catering getaways to luxury stays and everything in between, Lekker has something for every budget. Don't miss out on Lekker amazing year-round accommodation offers all over South Africa. Download the Lekker app today and discover how easy it is to book an affordable holiday. Lekker, always save on the best local stays.
Every Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate tackles the tough questions around South Africa's retirement crisis and how to change the future we're heading toward within the world of work.
Retirement literacy is critical. We went around trying to explain via advertising campaigns, member communication around what's changing, and we realized how few people understood how it worked in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's a complete lack of understanding of the importance around retirement funding. I think the second learning is people are financially stressed, and it's across all income levels.
The Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, Thursdays between 6 and 9 a.m. Brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
7:02 indeed, 20 minutes after 3 o'clock. Tabo in for John. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to participate and give your views on any story that comes up on 0727021702. You might have heard earlier on various EWN platforms, including bulletins, that the drivers have stopped operating after law enforcement impounded some of their vehicles for operating without licenses, particularly in Ekurhuleni. And the affected areas are primarily in Ekurhuleni, where commuters have been left stranded, and this comes after, as the industry has been in the spotlight for long-standing territorial conflicts. You'd remember the situation in Maponya Mall. You'd remember things that are taking place right now in the city of Cape Town and perhaps elsewhere in the country where we have not covered as yet. Jabulile Mbata is EWN reporter to give us the latest. Welcome, Jabulile. Good afternoon. This problem seems to be persisting in Ekurhuleni. What is the latest?
Good afternoon, Thabo. It seems that the taxi industry is in the spotlight again because they are not finding each other with the Department of Transport. So the latest is that, they remain striking. They've brought in MEC for Transport, Kidiboni Dianetabela, to meet with them, including Premier Panyaza Lesufi. So that meeting is currently underway. We're hoping to hear back from them as soon as possible because we want to know what the resolution is to this problem. As you understand, the Santaco are saying that they want to basically operate illegally on the roads because, and I say illegally carefully because drivers are not able to, be on the road without operating licenses. It is actually illegal. So they are saying that, Santaco is rather blaming the Department of Transport because it is the department that is supposed to issue these licenses. So, we're not sure what will come out of this meeting because neither side will give in. Obviously, the department is saying that they cannot allow taxis to drive and operate illegally. And one of the other things that the department is saying is that, many of the taxis operating on the roads are not roadworthy. And in order to get that license, that operating license, you are supposed to also comply with being roadworthy. So it's a series of issues, and we're wondering what now the MEC will resolve with the Santaco.
And the most unfortunately affected would be commuters, their customers, people who would be faring from one area to the other. How has that had an effect on the commuters in Ekurhuleni, Jabulile?
Many of the commuters we spoke to say they were unable to go to work. As you understand, many South Africans use taxis as their first choice for mode of transport. And while we had buses, public buses operating on the road, many of those whose first priority is taxis were unable to go on the road. And Santaco earlier said that actually if this is not resolved, they'll continue striking. So we're hoping that it doesn't come to that. But what Santaco has said is that, the passengers will have to remain affected. And they've even said, they apologize to their customers and commuters and passengers. But unfortunately, they cannot give in until their demand of operating without operating licenses is met.
Do we have any indication as to how long this inconvenience will be, especially for the commuters? Do we have any time frames as yet, Jabulile?
So Santaco said right now they are planning to strike indefinitely. So we don't know how long that could be. And one of the things the unions has raised is that, they are quite worried because previously when you had taxi drivers striking, they would also then call in bus operators to join in on the strikes, which would be an even bigger problem because, a lot of South Africans, as I've said, use taxis and buses. So we're hoping it doesn't get to that. We're keeping an eye on the ground. But so far, buses are operating and taxis are suspended indefinitely, specifically in the Ekurhuleni area. But the Santaco has even threatened that, more areas could be affected. So we're waiting to see what will happen in that regard.
Jabulile, thanks very much. And we know that you'll keep your eye on the ground and keep us informed. Jabulile Mbata, EWN reporter, 25 minutes after 3.
7:02.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
It takes place from the 30th to the 31st of August 2025, and it will host about 170 visual artists, designers, and makers across unconventional spaces in the CBD of Johannesburg. What am I speaking about? Contra Joberg is here. The director thereof is Sarah Hellett. She joins us on the line right now. Sarah, good afternoon. Thanks for speaking to us. It's promising to be a very interesting weekend and a treat of note. Say more about Contra Joberg. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Thabo, and good afternoon to your listeners. Yes, it's going to be a huge amount of fun. We believe it's the most interesting way to explore the city. We have all kinds of creative, talented, interesting, hardworking people who have been working for months to prep all of their stuff to be able to show it to you guys.
And where are the activities taking place exactly?
So on the Saturday, the 30th, we do the west of the city. So this includes Constitution Hill. This includes Fordsburg. It includes Marshalltown. It includes Braamfontein. On the Sunday, we do the west of the city, which is everything from Doornfontein across to Victoria Yards in Bez Valley.
I'm seeing food, activities, and perhaps kaleidoscopic entertainment. What can we expect if we come through, Sarah?
Absolutely. So we've got amazing artists who are doing their presentations of work. So hopefully you can get into studios and into exhibitions and see what they have presented. We also have, our theme this year is Expect the Unexpected. So there are going to be a series of unexpected interventions throughout the weekend. I don't want to give too much away, but we're covering a number of disciplines across the arts. And really just trying to kind of ask this question about what if art interrupts you? What if we pay more attention to art and we take a moment to slow down and really be inspired by it? We also have amazing food and drinks at most locations. There are restaurants, and we are trying to highlight places that already exist in the CBD, that are already doing great work, as we're working hard to kind of change the thinking around Johannesburg as a place to visit.
And if someone hasn't attended a Contra Joberg, is it kids friendly? Who is most likely the target market? Or can it be just anyone, even if you just want to explore? You don't necessarily have an art background, or you're not just generally an art enthusiast. Will you still be accommodated?
Of course. So it's any children under 18 are free. We do request, though, that they're accompanied by an adult. We are happy to take everyone and anyone. So art lovers are obviously the first port of call for the event, but we have people who come just to see what's happening in the CBD. There are amazing initiatives and things. And before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to Josie, my Josie, who have sponsored this event. They're working hard to fix the CBD and to make it a place that we all feel safe and comfortable in. But yes, you could be somebody who loves design. You could be somebody who loves fashion. You could be somebody who loves art. You could be somebody who loves history. There's a lot to be seen and a lot to do.
And the tickets, where do we get them? And please share a little bit about prices.
Certainly. So it's contra.joberg is the web address. And on there you will find a link to Quicket where the tickets are sold. Currently, today, tickets will be 120 Rand. But if you buy them on the day, which they are available, they will be more expensive. So we are encouraging everyone to get them today. There is a hop-on, hop-off shuttle service that will take you amongst all the venues, and that is included in the ticket price. And as I mentioned, children under 18 are free.
Sarah, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you this weekend, and all the best with your preparations. Sarah Hellett is Director of Contra Joberg. It's exactly 3:30. Zingiswa Chira is standing by with Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon. Welcome, Zingiswa.
Good afternoon, Thabo. In the headlines, a meeting is underway between Gauteng Transport MEC Kediboni Diale Tlhabela and frustrated taxi officials in Ekurhuleni. This after the South African National Taxi Council halted its operations in the area. The drivers stopped operating after law enforcement impounded some of their vehicles for operating without proper licenses. The affected areas are primarily in Ekurhuleni, where commuters have been left stranded. Santaco Regional Secretary Zweli Mnisi says they are struggling to pay the 5,000 Rand fee to have their vehicles released.
We are going to a meeting now to meet the MEC and try to resolve some of these issues. We hope that we will come out with a solution at the end of the day, because we feel very bad to leave our passengers stranded as we did. But as I said, we had no option but to embark on this shutdown because of the harassment of the law enforcement.
The Gauteng Education Department is reminding parents with children going to grade 1 and 8 next year that online applications period closes at midnight. The department says a significant number of applications are incomplete and they run the risk of children being without a school. Parents are reminded to submit certified copies of all required documents, including proof of home address. Department spokesperson Steve Mabona says no applications will be allowed after today.
Only learners with complete applications and verified documents will receive placements. We will be starting with the process on the 16th of October 2025 until all learners are placed. Placement is not based on first come, first serve. We utilize a criteria which is quite simple: home address within school feeder zone.
Moving to KwaZulu-Natal, 156 people have been left without shelter after a blaze swept through an informal settlement in Durban. According to the Provincial Cooperative Governance Department, a total of 127 adults and 29 children have been displaced and at least 92 shacks destroyed. The department says 3 people sustained minor burn injuries and have received medical treatment. Spokesperson Senzela Mzila says humanitarian aid is being provided to the affected community.
Humanitarian relief efforts were initiated by social partners, including the SA Red Cross Society and the Gift of the Givers Foundation, who are providing aid such as meals, blankets, and hygiene packs to the affected families. COCTA MEC Reverend Tulasize Buthelezi has dispatched a team from the Provincial Disaster Management Center to conduct a full assessment of the damage.
And there are calls for the South African Social Security Agency and Postbank to reconsider their decision to end their partnership. The master service agreement between the two parties is set to expire at the end of next month. Although the decision not to renew their contract has raised concerns about the payment of social grants, government has reassured beneficiaries that there won't be disturbances to the disbursement of social grants. Trade Union Kiwusa says it's struggling to understand the logic behind the decision to end the contractual agreement. Kiwusa President Mametle Sebei.
The original purpose of the South African Post Bank and its service agreement with SASSA was always to provide a reliable, affordable and accessible public banking service to the poor. This decision speaks on that mandate, especially when there is absolutely no evidence of the failure of South African Post Bank to deliver on the terms of the service agreement or anything that can be corrected.
In your weather, clear skies are in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows of 15 degrees and peak at highs of between 28 and 30 degrees.
Centurion expects heavy delays N1 northbound from John Foster all the way to Atterbury in Midrand. Also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N1 northbound between Ellendale and Samrand, and in Edenville heading towards the Bedfordview area. Traffic heavily backed up. This is on the R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange.
The top story in EWN, a meeting is underway between Gauteng Transport MEC Gidiboni Diale-Tlhabela and frustrated taxi officials in Ekurhuleni.
Ready, jet, go! 2 fully paid trips to the Abu Dhabi Motor Racing Spectacular must be won in the thrilling new JetX competition exclusive to Hollywood Bets. An unforgettable experience awaits on one of the fastest circuits on the planet, with the world's top drivers battling for supremacy. To stand a chance to win, bet 10 Rand or more on JetX. 1 million Rand in cash is also up for grabs. Hollywood Bets. Fly higher with our multiplier. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
For over 200,000 businesses, Yoko has been there, backing the brave, simplifying payments with our legendary Little Blue Card Machine. We've built a legacy of making businesses run smarter. Now, meet the next generation of smart. Yoko Counter. It's the smartest till you'll ever own. Your all-in-one hub for seamless payments, crystal clear recons, effortless stock control, and efficient staff management. Yoko Counter. Level up at yoko.com.
Welcome to the brand new days. Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Naked people are more interesting. They can make conversation with absolutely anyone at the office, even Jeff from IT. That's because naked people get car and home insurance online in seconds, which means less time wasted on insurance admin and more time listening to obscure crypto podcasts for their next encounter with Jeff. Go to naked.insure now, get a quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. People, Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
702 was live from the AXA International Indaba Conference Center as Airports Company South Africa announced their 2024-2025 annual financial results.
It's a very exciting day to announce the results for AXA with their sterling performance. What makes it so significant is that it creates a buffer, almost like a balance between aeronautical revenue, which is aviation revenue. It mitigates the risk. So you diversify revenue so that you don't have over-reliance on just one stream of income. That's a significant part of it. And it has been growing significantly, like almost balanced 50-50 with the aviation revenue in the past few years.
Airports Company South Africa is proud to be sustaining the pulse of SA's economy and global connectivity. Visit airports.co.za for more info. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi guys, I can actually confirm that lawyers do drink a lot. That one, lawyers know it. We all know it. The people in the space know it. So, yeah. But as for me, I would never date girls who are actresses. Like, looking at my woman kiss another man and then they say cut, and then I have to just believe that kiss meant nothing. Never. Yo.
Aibo, Tibos. You must tell us why you're not dating teachers. Maybe define this naughtiness. What kind of naughtiness are you talking about in terms of these teachers, Tibos? I really don't understand. Because for me, I think that's one profession that you'll find the most sweetest people. And because of their dealing with kids, they've got a lot of patience also attached to them. So please explain to us.
Medical profession, doctors, very naughty, very scandalous. Please do your research, you'll find out. Doctors.
Some are saying teachers, some doctors, and it appears as if Rifuwe's recommendation is on the spot. People in the legal professions. Lawyers, I'm told that you are people not to date. In case you've just joined us and wondering what are we talking about, earlier we asked, which professions shouldn't you date into? Could it be doctors, teachers, and Garabo said policemen and women? Which professions should you avoid completely if you are in the dating pool? Let us know on 072 702 1702 or call us on 011 883 0702. I'd love to hear from you. 21 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
This EWN Sport is brought to you by Jayco. Start here and let nothing stop you, not even traffic. Tolagele, what's the latest? Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, Akani Simbini finished second in the men's 100-meter final at the Diamond League meeting in Zurich as he dipped below 10 seconds in a time of 9.98 seconds. For Bayanda Walaza, a hamstring injury forced him to pull out of that race, and he's now a doubt for the World Championships, which take place in Tokyo. Over to the javelin, where Yohan du Plessis took bronze after a recorded throw of 62.26 meters. At the Rugby World Cup, Nadine Roos will start at fullback and Unam Tose at scrum half. That's for the Springbok women against Italy on Sunday. Kumisa Kawe and Eloise Webb will make their first appearances at this year's tournament as South Africa look to seal a win that will book them a quarter-final berth. For centre Zintle Mpumpa, she's emphasised the need to continue with the strong performances.
All the tries were all like a team work kind of thing, and obviously we're very beautiful ball runners as well, and I think that also comes with the structure of the team that actually put those people into spaces, and obviously we have very good finishes, and I think with that momentum from past week, and we're gonna hopefully continue with that momentum to this weekend as well.
Iga Swiatek, Jannik Sinner and Naomi Osaka are all through to the next round at the US Open. Stefanos Tsitsipas blew a match point as he exited the Grand Slam in the second round following a 5-set loss to Daniel Armetia. For Coco Gauff, she had also progressed after finding a way to beat Donna Vetic following an emotional 7-6 and 6-2 win.
It was just nerves and just pressure, honestly, and I'm someone that usually can thrive on that. There's been a lot on me this tournament, more than usual, which I expected coming in. So I just basically what you saw out there was what it was. I was able to reset through it, but it was a challenging moment for me on the court, and it's been a tough couple of weeks.
And Chris Froome is said to be in high spirits after undergoing back surgery following a serious crash. The 4-time Tour de France winner was airlifted to hospital after the accident, which took place while he was training in France. Froome broke 5 ribs and suffered a collapsed lung, along with a lumbar vertebra fracture in that crash. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
They'll tell you to wait until you're ready, until the plan is perfect, until you have it all together. But let's be real. Anyone who's done anything started without enough. They started nervous, started without a plan. Until the hustle made sense, they started anyway. And when ambition calls, you need more than a ride. You need a car built to start you on your journey, to drive you into what's next. Start where it matters. Start where it counts. The new JQ J5. Start here.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, he'll give us insights as to what's happening on our roads. Karabo, what's the latest?
Well, at this stage, Thabo, in the Centurion area, we still have bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the N1 northbound between John Foster and Atterbury. Also heading towards Pretoria and Midrand, there's slow-moving traffic. This is on the N1 northbound from Allendale Road all the way to Samrand. Edenvale, also slow-moving traffic heading towards Bedford View. That's the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Randburg area at Malibongo Drive and Mahogany, as well as in Bryanston at Winnie Mandela Drive and Sloane. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
17 minutes to 4 o'clock. You're on 702. John is not here. My name is Thabo Sholamashau. I'm with you till 6. Great having you with us. And keep those text messages coming through as we continue the show on 072 702 1702. Tolegele, good afternoon. I hope you're good.
I am, Thabo. How are you?
Chilled, notwithstanding the circumstances, of course. But we're all good. Earlier on, before you came through, we were chatting about professions that you shouldn't date into, meaning the professions, people from certain professions that are a definite no-no. No. Refiwe says that for lawyers, it's a no-no because they drink a lot, they are erratic, and they just too much self-indulgent. You should never, ever date a lawyer. That's Refiwe. The gentleman next to you, or I should just say a man next to you, because gentle is inappropriate at the stage. He says that cops, no, not for police women at all for him, because they carry a gun and they do a dangerous job. And now for you, Tolagel.
Journalists.
Oh, Wabana.
I'm telling you.
Why?
Thank you, Karabo.
Why? What did you say?
I would argue that journalists are the biggest red flags. First of all, we can never commit to anything because the minute something happens, everything that you've planned for the past month, it goes out the window because it's all hands on deck. Also, we just like ditaba, ne? So even when you're telling me something, I'm going, oh my goodness, maybe I can turn this into a story and then I can follow that up with, and I can re-angle it that way. Now, all of a sudden, that innocent conversation you guys were having at the Bryce stand, Wednesday, you're listening to it on 702 and you're like, what the hell is this about? Because even for me at church, when we're doing like our post-church debrief, people are like, I can't tell you anything because I'm going to listen to the show tomorrow and I'm going to have a story.
That's so true. And Garabo, I mean, it's just cops. A soldier, would you date a soldier?
No. Oh, that's even worse. and then she's gone for 6 months, and then I have to just sit there doing what?
DRC.
Hey, Makai. I grand. Deployed there.
But guys, I mean, I don't think that we should be judging people based on what they do. Isn't that boxing people and putting them in just a little corner? We are different. We are individuals. I mean, you have found some sweet journalists before, Tolagin.
Where?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm just joking. Yes, we can't judge them on their job, but ultimately, because the job requires so much of them, you realize that, hey, I have to think really carefully if I'm planning long term with this person. Just understand how, yes, they may come into that job one way, but because of how the structure is set up, it's going to be something that goes with them forever. Like another thing with journalists, all of a sudden, like Didi Mabuza, I'll use that as an example, where he had some of the memorials were happening in Joburg, and then in Mpumalanga, like your partner's gone for like a week.
Yes.
In that time, what must you be doing with your life? So you can really never confirm anything. And also, when you started a new newsroom, like December, if your partner only started in November, just know that December plans cancelled.
Oh, so when your concern is more time than anything else.
Absolutely.
It's got nothing to do with personality, the character. It's mainly time spent with a guy. No, that I understand.
Thank you, Thomas.
That I fully understand, because I mean, especially during elections, you are hardly home. There was a time many years ago where I literally slept at the IEC under the desk, literally, because you can't do anything. You're gonna miss out.
And also, if you have to be a supportive partner, you now must listen to. Sometimes you don't care about politics now, because your partner is just like 3 political parties deep. Now you're hearing stuff, and that also kind of messes with your own thought process, because you want to be there for someone, but also you can't help but impacted by the things that they're dealing with at the same time.
Before you go, Tolagele, and I know you're very keen to go because you love your work so much, you want to go and prepare for the next bulletin, do this and that and the other. There was, I don't know if I've said this before, there was one lady at the SABC many years ago when I worked for the SABC. There was one lady, very popular, I can't mention her name because she'll sue me, who then said, I don't understand, guys, at the SABC. You guys would even date cleaners here at the SABC. And I was like, and so what's wrong with that? And she spoke of it as if it was something bad. And so it made me think that, do we have classifications of professions or the workspaces that we would date and would not date?
I think there are people that look at your job and think, will I or will I not be able to have access to certain things? I'll speak for my specific field.
Yeah.
Just because of people's proximity to athletes. Some people will think, oh, if I hang out with this journalist, I didn't mention names. It will allow for me to enter a certain space.
Access. Proximity.
So that's how people view it. What can they benefit from being close enough to a Karabo? Maybe they can go to Rob Byrne now that they know Karabo Chai.
Well, what are chances of that happening? 11 minutes to 4 o'clock, 7:02.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
011-883-0702. Would love to hear from you. You would know that the ANC continues to run the city of Johannesburg through a power sharing arrangement with other parties, and the governance in the city of Johannesburg could collapse due to a bitter fight between the ANC and its coalition partners. The Citizen reported this week that a fight has erupted between PA, Patriotic Alliance that is, and the EFF over the vacant MMC for transport position previously held by Ekurhuleni, who has now just left that space for reasons that we have ventilated on before. The Citizen also understands that the ANC's Women's League also protested against exclusion of women in senior positions in the council. In short, it appears that there is mayhem that is about to explode in the city of Johannesburg based on coalition partners' disagreements. Political analyst Kanya Vilagazi joins us right now to share some light on this issue. Kanya, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to 702.
Thank you, Tama, and thank you to your listeners.
I'm sure we shouldn't make light of the situation. Not only that city of Johannesburg is the economic hub of the country, but the political misgivings of the city could spill over to some other areas. How serious is this misunderstanding among parties in the city of Johannesburg?
I think it's indicative of this large power sharing ability that they're trying to keep alive, because not everybody will have a seat at the table. However, each and every single coalition partner within this coalition wants to have an opportunity to lead within the mayor's executive.
One would think that it was almost fait accompli that the position was occupied by Kenny Kunene of Patriotic Alliance. Then his vacancy ought to be inevitably replaced by someone from Patriotic Alliance.
Well, that was true. However, we are not privy to what were the preconceived conceptions of Kenny Kunene taking over the position of MMC before he did, because only after that we can then know that it was a provisional deal that if he had to vacate, then somebody else would have to come in. So this power pulling between the PA and the EFF on this vacancy is indicative of something lying within that there needs to be some sort of equilibrium, even if it means giving it to the EFF, because they then want to then themselves start running certain executive positions within the municipality.
To what extent is there impending regional conference also playing its role in this? Because we understand that there is going to be a serious loggerheads and contestation, a fierce one in the city of Johannesburg, as Dada Morero will go against Loyiso, and many other individuals will be contesting. Tsirim Fikwe is also in the mix. That impending regional conference and the politics thereof, is it contributing to all this mayhem?
Well, to some extent it does. However, not to this one particular issue with filling this vacancy of MMC, because everybody knows that when the ANC is in its internal election machinery, there's a lot of infighting that happens. There's a lot of taking one against the other in order to obtain certain positions, because who knows, maybe after this regional conference, Dada Moreno, if he loses, he might be even recalled. It's such a tentative situation currently for any coalition partner that has the ANC in it, because it's not guaranteed that the same people that go into an election will come back still being favored as an ANC deployee to any executive position.
At which point did the passage of time contribute to this? Could it have been avoided if the mayor, immediately after the departure of Kenny Kunene, which was very apparent, appointed someone immediately? Could he have avoided all this mess?
No, he couldn't have, because, like I'm saying, he's part of a coalition, and within a coalition, all parties ought to be happy. So had he made a summary judgment, he would have alienated all the other partners, and it would have left him in an isolated position. But I think he tried to get some sort of consensus amongst these coalition partners, but nothing has come through. Now, this loggerheads has and will continue to hurt the municipality. Not only that, it is the heart of South Africa and African economy. Now, when the rest of Africa looks at what's happening in the city of Joburg, they're not going to be calling on other coalition partners, but they'll be looking at the ANC, who has led South Africa in the past 30-odd years to find themselves and to make sure that the city continues to run. Because if they don't, it then looks at how the ANC mayoral executive has failed to lead the city and fill vacancies.
5 minutes to 4 o'clock. My guest is Khanya Vilakazi, political analyst. We're looking at the politics in the city of Johannesburg after the vacancy was created when Kenny Kunene left the MMC position in the city, and he was supposed to be replaced. The mayor has since not filled that vacancy, and now it appears there's scrambling for power. My guest is here to help us understand the story a little bit closely. Khanya, the Action SA, though, says that the spokesperson, COCA spokesperson Marcel Cotres, said that it's clear that there's mistrust between the ANC and its partners, and the spokesperson also mentions that the people at loggerheads are just not greedy. They are hungry for positions. And luckily, this whole government of local unity is imploding. Can we call a spade and say this is merely about power and influence, nothing else? People want to be as strong as possible in order to have their hands at the trough for the upcoming 2026 election, or is that an exaggeration of facts?
You just call a spade, and if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it is a duck. Because I can tell you that none of these spats bring in an individual's ability to deliver to the common constituents, which are the people of Johannesburg. Everybody sees their own candidacy as the only one that should go up into the position of MMC. However, nobody's saying, hey, I think so-and-so from the opposition bench could actually do this because of their history of doing A, B, C, D. It has gone beyond the point of serving the people, and it has began on the basis of serving one's own power political structure.
I mean, it doesn't look like there is an end in sight, given that there's going to be a conference. Do we anticipate this to be sorted out before or after?
I doubt. I think with us looking towards the conference themselves, the individual wards of the ANC have started caucusing amongst themselves who should replace who, where, and how. And this is something that happens each and every single election cycle of the ANC. It's something that is unavoidable. And to have something now might not be something that could hold beyond next year's elections.
Kanya, thanks for your insights. Really appreciate it. Let's chat again in the near future. Kanya Vilagazi, political analyst. 3 minutes to 4 o'clock. You're on 702.
Sunday.
A day to exhale.
To breathe in the melody.
Unwind with Soulful Sundays on 702.
Kenny Maestri starts your day
with smooth R&B and timeless classics from 10 a.m.
At 2 p.m.
Hoshaza Sibia keeps the good vibes flowing with rich, soulful sounds.
And as the night sets in, let Lutimba Madumo
take you on a journey with jazz and beyond
from 6 to 9 p.m.
Soulful Sundays.
Relax, unwind,
and let the music move you.
Only on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is back. With just one ticket, experience unforgettable music, mouth-watering food, bold fashion and vibrant art. From Saturday 20th to Sunday 21 September, celebrate with friends and bring the family for a picnic on Sunday. This year, DSTV celebrates 30 years with international headliners, SA's hottest talent, and a feast that's as big as the vibe. It's Africa's biggest music and food festival. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and supported by 702. More on deliciousfestival.com.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call OutSurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, TCs and information online.
Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who has inside jokes with complete strangers.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and Vitalamin.co.za.
Vitalamin. Don't get older. Get better.
Mzansi, the Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots estimated at a total 85 million Rand are your chance at an unforgettable Friday. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 37 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 48 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
This is EWN.
Taxis resume operations in Ekurhuleni and another cop nabbed in Kepler murder. Good afternoon, I'm Zingisa Chira. Taxis have reportedly resumed operating in Ekurhuleni in Gauteng. Transport MEC Kediboni Diale Tlabela and taxi industry leaders announced the development in a press briefing a short while ago. Operators affiliated with Santaco had halted services in protest over the department's decision to impound its vehicles which are without operating licenses. The Taxi Council argued that many operators are without licenses due to a backlog at the Gauteng Department of Transport. Another police officer linked to the murder of Gauteng crime warden Chesney Kepler has been arrested. Kepler was allegedly shot and killed by her police officer boyfriend Mandla Buthelezi after a dispute in December last year. The Independent Police Investigating Directorate says the officer is Buthelezi's friend. Ndogozo Khumalo reports.
A constable linked to Gauteng's crime prevention unit was arrested today. It is understood that the officer, who is Buthelezi's friend, was present on the day Chesney Kepler was shot. The Independent Police Investigating Doctorate spokesperson Lizzie Supeng says the 35-year-old had also attacked Chesney Kepler's friends.
He allegedly assaulted Chesney Kepler's 3 friends after they were engaged in an argument with him. Thereafter, the constable fired shots in the direction of Kepler's friends, who decided to leave.
The constable is facing charges of attempted murder and defeating the ends of justice. Ndogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
The key witness in the Lusiki massacre trial has revealed that accused 1 Mzukisi Ndamase has committed murders while inside prison cells. The witness was a fellow prison inmate and a close confidant of the accused. Ndamase stands accused of orchestrating the Lusiki massacre, in which 18 people were shot and killed in Gobozana village in September last year. He and his 5 co-accused are back in the Mthatha High Court sitting in Lusiki for the trial. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
The state's key witness returned to the stand this morning. He has testified that in 2021, accused 1 Mzukisi Ndamase called him while behind bars. He says he asked him to monitor the movements of someone named Sngane, a long-time friend of Ndamase, who he allegedly claimed had neglected him after he was jailed. The witness says the accused later ordered him to kill Sngane. However, he says he refused to do so as he had no intention to commit murder. He says in August 2023, Ndamase called him again, informing him that he had killed a woman named Nomakosi for allegedly bewitching his mother. He also told him one of his soldiers carried out the hit on Nomakosi and another person. The court proceedings continue as the state prosecutor advocate Makubalo leads evidence. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusiki.
And in the Western Cape, Premier Alan Winde is urging taxi associations Carter and Codeta to return to the negotiating table. The provincial administration has secured a court interdict in a bid to end the violence in Cape Town. The Mobility Department approached the High Court yesterday on an urgent basis to compel the organizations to stop the shooting, which claimed the lives of 5 people. 9 other people were wounded in fresh violence at taxi ranks in Philippi East, Khayelitsha and Makassar. The attacks are linked to a feud between Carter and Codeta over a route from Mfuleni and Khayelitsha to Somerset West. Winde says the interdict will be in effect until the 9th of October, when the court will decide whether to make it permanent.
We really urge these taxi associations to return to the negotiations to find lasting solutions. They must always be putting their commuters or their customers first. These are the residents of our province. This is an absolute non-negotiable.
He adds that the minibus taxi industry is a crucial part of the province's public transport system.
They move 2 million people in the city of Cape Town every single day. It is a critical component to our public transport system. We don't want to be ending up in court and using these measures, but levers of last resort.
Gold is trading at $3,414.98 an ounce. The rand is 17.71 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, and 20.64 to the euro. Brent crude is $68.20 a barrel.
Leaving the Joburg CBD heading towards Germiston, there's an accident scene on the M2 eastbound. This is before Heidelberg Road, causing about a 30-minute delay all the way from the Crown interchange. As a result, also driving through Parktown into the Joburg CBD, traffic heavily backed up. M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the Crown interchange, and also in the Germiston area, there's slow-moving traffic heading into Alberton. This is also due to an accident scene N3 southbound near the Ilans interchange, causing massive delays all the way from the Galdenace interchange.
In your sport, Bayanda Walaza's World Championship campaign in doubt due to a hamstring injury. Springbok women look to seal quarter-final spot at the Rugby World Cup. And Chris Froome undergoes successful back surgery.
It's clear skies for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 15, peaking at 28. Pretoria 15 and 30. Vereeniging also at 15 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Taxis have reportedly resumed operating in Ekurhuleni in Gauteng.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 4 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. My name is Thabo Sholemashao. Instead of John Perlman, we are together till 6. Really appreciate your time. Your voice notes should keep coming through. We've touched on a number of stories, including Contra Joberg, a very interesting festival taking place from the 30th to the 31st of August, meaning Saturday and Sunday. You in for a treat. We spoke to Sarah Hallett, the director of that particular event, and she shared quite a bit. If you missed it, you can check it out on primemediaplus.com. We also had a chat with one of our on-site journalists and reporters. EWN reporter Jabulile was giving us insights about what is happening in the city of Ekurhuleni. Speaking of which, in a short while we will be speaking to the MMC of transport in the city of Ekurhuleni. If you are from Ekurhuleni, if you've been affected directly or otherwise by this taxi situation that has been unfolding, as you might have heard in EWN News now that the transportation flow has begun and they've commenced from their strike. Now everything seems to be moving accordingly. Please share your thoughts. Call in, ask the MMC questions. We always encourage you to partake. These stories are about you more than they're about us. Share your realities. Tell us what to ask, because you are the one who is feeling the pinch at the end of the shoe. So I encourage you. I'll be speaking to the MMC shortly of transport in Ekurhuleni. Share your thoughts. Send your voice messages, your voice notes, and your questions to 072 702 1702. I would love to hear from you. Speaking of which, earlier on we asked for you to send your thoughts and your voice notes. We asked about professions from which you wouldn't date. Those people who do certain jobs, who work in certain areas that you wouldn't consider going out with. Let us know. 072 702 1702.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi team, I'm an engineer and I have a lot of teacher friends, and I can confirm that the naughtiest people are teachers.
I would not date a radio journalist or any one of you guys who work on the radio. You guys work the craziest hours and I like my sleep way too much.
Good afternoon, 702 family. My sister used to say, any man that wears boots to work, sorry, SNDF, SAPS, those under SIRA, anybody under police, some type of work, it's a no-no. Have a nice.
Yeah, but you're also going to miss out on some interesting people like engineers, because they also wear boots, right? It's not just the cops and anyone under SIRA, but you seem to be very worried about the security cluster. But I understand. Listen, that's your truth. And we are asking about people that you wouldn't date who do certain jobs. And someone said, one of the voice notes said, anyone on radio, oh man, you are missing out. We are a ball of fire. We are amazing individuals, handsome some gorgeous, beautiful, talented, great company, amazing personality. It's your loss. 10 minutes after 4.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. M2 seems to be the problem there, Karabo Charlie. We did get some voice notes and we got some text messages that I wanted to read to you. And it says multiple motor vehicle accident on the M2 East near Lusiki on ramp, right-hand lane closed.
Yeah, and that is already causing more than an hour delay, Thabo. This is coming from the Joburg CBD heading towards the Germiston area, so avoid that route at all costs. As a result, even the M1 southbound is badly affected at this time of the afternoon. That's the M1 south between Ekurhuleni Bends and the Crown interchange. Also in the Edenvale area heading towards Bedfordview, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange. Traffic also heavily backed up coming from Alex heading into Germiston N3 south between the Batlu interchange and Van Buren. In the south, things not looking too bad. Those roadworks still slowing down traffic. This is in the Devland area on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union. Also Protea Glen, we still have slow moving traffic on the N12 westbound. This is between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
It's time to be part of change. GovTech 2025 is happening 8 to 10 September at Durban ICC. Experience cutting-edge innovation, inspiring speakers and powerful collaborations, shaping the future of digital government from policy to AI, cybersecurity, data, cloud, and connectivity. This is the platform for transformation. Don't miss South Africa's flagship digital government conference where innovation meets impact. Register now at govtech.gov.za and be part of shaping the future.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with SemAir, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. SemAir, more from your airline.
Two iconic South African acts, one unforgettable stage. Jeremy Loops and Ladysmith Black Mambazo present Echoes Between Us. Live at the Teatro at Monte Casino on 19 and 20 September. Experience this once-in-a-lifetime collaboration of rhythm, harmony, and heritage with these exclusive shows. Tickets on sale now from Web Tickets. Proudly supported by 702 and 947.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction because with Sunny Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sunny Sixt.
702 and the Discam Foundation are shining the spotlight on the health matters you want to know more about. Here's what we explored this month.
It started with fixing the muscles don't allow for a child, a newborn, to smile, which is a 10-hour surgery. Then they started with cleft palate and the like. And they don't just do that anymore. They're doing a lot of life-changing and sometimes life-saving operations. And not only is it the operations, it's the support that somebody like Ndinako and their families have when they go into the Smile Foundation. operation, and society's not kind.
Yes.
And they make the whole process so much easier for the recipient of the operation.
In Conversation on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman. Brought to you by the Discount Foundation, caring for the community on 702.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Commuters in Ekurhuleni have been dealt another blow. You'd remember that this afternoon it has been a plethora of issues, negotiations taking place back and forth regarding the taxi industry. Some in that space have complained about their vehicles being impounded, licenses being sought. We had a chat with Jablile earlier on, one of our EWN journalists, regarding this matter. Now we are joined on the line by Andile Mkwevu, who is MMC for Transport in Ekurhuleni. MMC, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the listeners at home.
We understand that the situation has improved, but prior to this, what was the main issue that really broke the camel's back?
Yeah, the fundamental problem was that there were 17 vehicles that were impounded that were operating without the operating licenses. And remember, the competence of impounding vehicles and operating licenses, it is within it's the responsibility of the province led by the MEC.
Yes.
The Honorable Kitboni Diale. But we had a discussion with her office and the minister to say we must have attempts to try and establish a negotiation process with the industry, obviously within the prescripts of the law, so that we don't see the taxi industry breaking the law and we succumb to the law breakers and we are doing nothing about it. But we have agreed that let's establish a conversation, and we would have started led by the MEC. And upon the discussions that were led by the MEC, there was an agreement that there must be resumption of service from the taxi industry, but it's not negotiable on the same note, agreeing that we must not enforce law where it's necessary, because all the taxi associations know very well that you can't operate vehicles outside the prescripts of the law, and we would have agreed in that particular aspect. Therefore, we also said the commuters must be fetched from their point A to point B, with a view that the conversation is continuing. But there's also a team that will have been established by the MEC, so that there are route verifications led by the province in terms of registration, and the department must respond promptly regarding that particular aspect. But we also said there must be roadshows so that all these associations are visited, where in particular there are conflicts, so that there's what we call a campaign that is led by the office of the MEC, so that people come forward with their issues that they want to raise with the Department of Transport, so that they are resolved those particular issues in the next 2 weeks, so that we deal also with the crisis in terms of the operating licenses. But we have also requested the industry that let's try and have a joint collective communication as led by the MEC's office, so that there are no conflicting messages that goes to society and commuters. Because at the end of the day, the people who are frustrated are our commuters and who are service providers, both collectively as the taxi industry.
Yeah, MMC, I thought I should give you time just to lay the ground for us, and I think you did that very well. And that's why I gave you so much time, so that we understand what is at the root of this. Can you confirm if the BRT service was also halted as a result of the taxi strike? How so, if that was the case?
Yeah, it was halted. Remember, the BRT were in partnership with the taxi in the KTVR, which is the operating company. And by the way, when the taxi conflicts, we don't want to expose our drivers and our vehicles to this kind of chaos where they end up being attacked, vandalized, and so on and so forth. So we said, for the safety of our commuters, let us therefore suspend the services and as led by the KTVR, which is the operating company, so that we save the people who are operating those buses, including our buses, because they waste a lot of money and we don't want to take that particular risk.
Isn't that yielding and being held ransom to the taxi violence that will implode if the buses move on? Isn't that admitting and conceding to the taxi industry that they are actually running the city and not yourselves?
No, we are running the city. As I've explained to you, that the taxi industry and the city of Ekurhuleni, they are in a collaborative agreement in terms of operating the BRT itself.
I get that, and I know how that works.
The BRT in the city of Ekurhuleni is ran by the KTVR. KTVR are stakeholders that come from different taxi associations.
MMC, I fully grasp that, and I can even give you a thorough explanation how it works in various cities, including here in Joburg on phase 1A and phase 1B and C. I fully comprehend that. But I'm just saying, if then that means that other services cannot run because the taxi service is disgruntled and you are afraid that there will be violence, are you not?
We're not afraid. We're protecting our people.
Yeah, but you can protect them by bringing out the police, Metro Police, to protect the buses. Yeah, no, you have halted. You haven't done exactly that. You have halted the operations.
Let me tell you. Listen, I'm saying to you, we're not running the BRT in isolation with the operating company. If you understand,
I have said I understand what that. I know what that is. It means that those taxis that you have agreed with previously are now part of the operations of their BRT. I understand that. I don't want to waste time on that. I fully grasp that. But I'm saying, if that association is going to mean that Ekurhuleni comes to a halt every time there's a taxi strike based on one disgruntlement of or another, it simply means that the city's authority cannot protect its commuters. And you must concede that you can't do that. The economy will come to a halt because you can't protect the commuters due to taxi strikes. Then you must then say, let's leave it to people who can do that. No, it's what you didn't, where the service is not halted today.
What you assume. Listen.
No, the services were halted. I'm not assuming that.
I'm saying to you, are you going to listen to me? I'm saying to you, in the process where there's a strike, we establish a joint operating committee where we must be able to assess the risk at hand. Remember, that strike is not a legal strike. And an illegal strike, it means it's something that would have been done without the expectation of the government itself.
Do you have capacity to protect your commuters?
So what we do, we therefore immediately assess the risk, suspend services to protect our own commuters.
Do you have capacity to protect the commuters?
We even further communicate to our commuters to say we are suspending this particular service so that we assess the risk. And once we have assessed the risk, I've even mentioned to public that we've unleashed the South African Police Service
MMC.
in conjunction with the Ekurhuleni.
Yeah, allow me to ask a question. We're going to run out of time. Out of time. Allow me to ask a question. I'm asking, does the city of Ekurhuleni have capacity to protect its property and its commuters under such circumstances?
Yes, we do. That's why we have Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department.
Were you able to do that today?
Yeah, we've done it.
Why then did you halt the services?
That's why you will realize. Because when I were at the station, you were not on the ground. I was there.
We have different teams. EWN was there.
Let me make an example. You'll realize that all of the commuters that were frustrated, be it in Jimistin, in Vale, they were means to make sure that they reach their final destination, which is home from work.
What were those means?
And they were not. And they reached their next destination unharmed because we have unleashed South African Police Services, we have unleashed EMPD. Even now, there's no record that any commuter that uses our services would have been in a dangerous position. But majority of people who are in those public ranks are people that would have been using public transport such as taxis, which belongs to the Santaco and the taxi industry itself.
Okay,
And
MMC,
we
we have to leave it at that. Unfortunately, I'll ask people from Ekurhuleni to call us and to share their experiences, and they are on the ground, and they will tell us what the experience has been. But I thank you for your time. No, I'm not going to join you on the ground. I won't join you on the ground. I have got other work to do. But our teams, I can assure you, especially from EWN, are on the ground, and that's what they do best. They give us that information from there. 25 minutes after 4.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
On the Midday Report, every day from 12 to 1 p.m, we will bring you breaking news from the scene as it unfolds with newsmakers, reporters, commentators, experts and analysts. We'll explain the stories of the day, give you context for why they are important and what they mean for you. It is everything you need to know in 1 hour, from news to global events, business, sports, science, books and always some good news too. Appointment listening every day at 12 with the Midday Report.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Ready to lead and make our world a better place, Regenesis School of Education proudly launches its revolutionary Bachelor of Education program. They don't just develop teachers, they develop conscious leaders equipped with IQ, STEM, AI and emotional intelligence. Study in the heart of Sandton or online worldwide with a world-class faculty trusted by over 1,000 corporations and 500,000 alumni from 150 countries. Enroll now at regenesis.net/education. Regenesis School of Education, awakening potential.
Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 litre 6-pack Spar Long Life full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900 gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025. While stocks last. T's and C's apply.
What if your till could think for you? Meet Yoko Counter, an all-in-one point-of-sale system that handles payments, real-time recons, and even tracks stock and staff. It's not just a brain saver, it's a time saver too. Yoko Counter, the smartest till you'll ever own. Upgrade your business at yoko.com.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this heritage weekend at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday, 20th, catch Don Toliver, Cuesta, Inkabizezwe, and more. Then on Sunday, 21, don't miss the iconic Lauryn Hill on her 25th anniversary tour with special guests Wycliffe Jean, YG Mali, and Zion Mali, with Lyra, Mandi Sijanchis, and Zoe Mudicha also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster, the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and proudly supported by 702.
EWN Business.
With the SG of Broadcasting, Stephen Grotes. I hope you're good, man.
Yeah, I'm good, Tabo, under the circumstances. Yeah. Thank you. Obviously, a very, very tough time.
Sure.
The JSE also a little bit down today. They're down 0.07% at 101,790 points. That's the all-share. Financials down 0.83. Industrials flat-ish, up 0.03, and resources up 0.62% on the day. You know the story around MAS? They're the East European Property Group. There was a company called Prime Capital, High Property top wanted a share, wanted to sort of take it over. They had an offer. They then had to retract that. The minority shareholders weren't happy, and they basically tried to nominate new directors, and then they had to withdraw that. Well, it's now kind of all ended. Okay? Finally. Eventually, I think. And Prime Capital Investments has clearly won.
Oh, wow.
And they've been able to do that. So they've been able to tighten their control of the company. But they also reported their full year earnings today. And they were up nearly 30%. And this is partly about property prices, shopping malls in Romania and other parts of Eastern Europe. Despite that, their share price is down 4.5% on the day. Northern Platinum are down 3% now. There's a number in here that I think might make your eyes pop out. They reported their operating earnings were down 25% year on year. Okay, that's fine. I mean, they're higher platinum prices, but they weren't high enough. That's what you expected. Here's the number. They spent nearly 3 billion rand on electricity.
You're kidding me. Billion rand.
3 billion rand. And that's before NERSA gets to sign off with Eskom in some dark room where nobody else is, because to fix their mistake, which is compounded with their other mistake.
And here I am thinking that my electricity bill was high.
So 3 billion. Look, I mean, we're not all far off, right? For like 6 people. You know? Anyway, also the firm's CEO, Paul Dunn, not quite as confident about the platinum prices and Parler Platinum, but very interesting. He does say, like, there is going to be a deficit. So Northern down 3%, Investec down 2%, MTN down 2% as well on the day. Telkom up 3.38% and DRD Gold up 2%. Look, gold prices are, just astonishing at the moment. And I must mention Rio Tinto, the global mining conglomerate. They're placing Richards Bay Minerals under review. It's part of a much bigger strategic shake-up, but it does mean that mine could be sold. That operation, I think, is the biggest taxpayer in KwaZulu-Natal. It's a really important issue. In the US, everybody's sort of watching what's happening around the U.S. Federal Reserve, but the Dow Jones is now down 0.5%. The Nasdaq is down 1%. The S&P 500 is down 0.63%. The gold price still powering ahead, $3,432.60. Platinum $1,346.60. Brent crude $67.61. The rand to the dollar 17.69. To the euro 20.67. To the British pound 23.84. I'm going to go and do some cycling, not anywhere, just to generate some electricity. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Even if that was the case, no one would blame you with those prices. The very latest, Zingiso Chira will give us on Eyewitness News headlines. Welcome again, Zingiso. What's the latest?
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. The taxis have reportedly resumed operations in Ekurhuleni. Gauteng Transport MEC Kidiboni Diale-Tlabela, along with leaders from the taxi industry, announced the development during a press briefing this afternoon. Taxi operators affiliated with Santaco had suspended services in protest against the Transport Department's decision to impound vehicles that were operating without valid licenses. The Taxi Council had argued that many operators have been unable to obtain licenses due to a backlog at the department. Meanwhile, in the Western Cape, Mobility MEC Isaac Sileku has published a notice proposing the temporary closure of certain routes affected by the ongoing taxi violence. Gun violence linked to a feud between Carter and Codeta taxi associations erupted in parts of Cape Town this week, claiming the lives of 5 people. A dispute over a route from Mfuleni and Khayelitsha to Somerset West is suspected to be behind the attacks. The provincial administration has secured a court interdict to help stop the violence. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Western Cape Provincial Mobility MEC Isaac Sileku says both Carter and Codeta have been summoned to appear before the provincial taxi registrar to explain why they have failed to comply with the industry's code of conduct. Sileku says taxi operators may have their operating licenses suspended if they fail to provide satisfactory reasons.
No one would want to go this route. It's a last resort. But, unfortunately, as government, we cannot fold our arms while people are dying on our roads, while people's safety has been compromised.
Public comments on the proposal to temporarily close certain taxi routes will be opened until Monday. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Former Springboks coach Peter de Villiers currently has no plans to take further action after he was acquitted on sexual assault charges. The Vredenburg Magistrate Court delivered its ruling yesterday following a hearing 2 weeks ago. The charges stem from a complaint filed while de Villiers was a member of the Good Party caucus in Vredenburg in 2024. His lawyer Hendrik Leroux says they will study the judgment.
We will at some stage address and study the case record and the judgment and decide what route Mr. de Villiers would take in future in regarding this case. But at this stage, there is no plans of continuing, if anything, further. But obviously his rights remain reserved in this regard.
He adds while de Villiers is relieved, the matter has taken its toll.
He lost a lot in the process because in his time he also lost 2 family members who were close to him, his wife and his daughter. And he was fighting his battle on his own.
And moving to KwaZulu-Natal, 156 people have been left without shelter after a blaze swept through an informal settlement in Durban. According to the Provincial Cooperative Governance Department, a total of 127 adults and 29 children have been displaced and at least 92 shacks destroyed. The department says 3 people sustained minor burn injuries and have received medical treatment. Spokesperson Senzelwa Mzila says humanitarian aid is being provided to the affected community.
Humanitarian relief efforts were initiated by social partners, including the SA Red Cross Society and the Gift of the Givers Foundation, who are providing aid such as meals, blankets, and hygiene packs to the affected families. COCTA MEC Reverend Tulasi Buthelezi has dispatched a team from the Provincial Disaster Management Center to conduct a full assessment of the damage.
Clear skies are in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows of 15 degrees and peak at highs of between 28 and 30.
Well, if you're heading towards Germiston leaving Alex, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic N3 southbound between the Patlu interchange and Van Buren. Also driving through the Joburg CBD, expect heavy delays on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the Crown interchange.
Top story in EWN, taxis have reportedly resumed operations in Ekurhuleni.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Willem Els, and Senior Training Coordinator at the Institute for Security Studies. What is Interpol? What is it supposed to do?
Interpol started off with about 1996 countries that formed this union. Interpol became actually the liaison office between the different countries that need to interact. More than that, it also came up with various sets of tools that can be used by your different countries. For instance, if there is a wanted person or a warrant of arrest issued for a wanted person, they can issue a red notice.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
The South African Future Trust Summit is fast approaching. This premium entrepreneurial showcase will return to the Sandton Convention Centre on 5 and 6 November with international and local speakers sharing groundbreaking insights from their entrepreneurial journeys. It's an unmatched opportunity to network with like-minded entrepreneurs, innovators, investors, and change makers. With 2,000 plus delegates and over 200 exhibitors, all under one roof. Come and experience the extraordinary world of thriving entrepreneurs and business owners. Avoid missing out. Get your tickets now from 1,800 rands each for the 2 days at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 kg Tastic long grain, parboiled, brown or soft absorbing rice assorted for $34.99. Save 10 Rand with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Spar sunflower or canola oil for $69.99 with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Dion Free. Winning requires audacity. That's why I joined African Bank and opened a 60-month fixed-term investment account. I'm scoring 12.8% interest at expiry on my investment. How cool is that? You too can join the bank that backs you to grow your money. Pop into a branch near you or visit africanbank.co.za. African Bank. Audacity to believe. African Bank is a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Mzansi, the Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots estimated at a total 85 million Rand are your chance at an unforgettable Friday. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 37 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 48 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old but play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
702 was live from the AXA International Indaba Conference Center as Airports Company South Africa announced their 2024-2025 annual financial results.
It's a very exciting day to announce the results for AXA with their sterling performance. What makes it so significant is that it creates a buffer, almost like a balance between aeronautical revenue, which is aviation revenue. It mitigates the risk. So you diversify revenue so that you don't have over-reliance on just one stream of income. That's a significant part of it. And it has been growing significantly, like almost balanced 50-50 with the aviation revenue in the past few years.
Airports Company South Africa is proud to be sustaining the pulse of SA's economy and global connectivity. Visit airports.co.za for more info. 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Tabo, I think Utsore MEC Kadiwashene. So he tries to shape his answers based on your questions. I mean, at some point they're trying to protect the buses, and which are very expensive. That's why they didn't operate. And now, if you harass him and all of a sudden people arrived safely at their destinations, how, if ever the buses are not operating, if there are no taxis to take them home? I think they must just admit for years the taxi industry is running Gauteng, and that is it. Thanks, Kizuko.
Hi, 702 Landers. What a typical government municipality interview, in that they're always in denial of what actually is, and they're always forcing us to understand them, even though they're not making sense, even though they're making excuses. They're always forcing us to understand. They must just accept the fact that the taxi associations rule the streets and they have no capacity to deal with it. The SAPS or the JMPD or whatever type of police service, they never have capacity to deal with these types of things. So we'll never get to a solution.
011-883-0702, and those voice notes come on the backdrop of our interview with the MMC of Transport in Ekurhuleni, Andile Mgwevu, and we were just chatting about the strike that took place a little bit earlier on, where taxi drivers stopped movement, especially of commuters, protesting the fact that the taxis have been impounded by the transport department in the province of Gauteng. And I asked if they've got capacity to protect the commuters. Clearly not. And he was insisting, the MMC, that I should be on the ground. I don't understand how that is going to change the situation. I can go there now after the show. How will that change or impact on anything? It's just really hiding behind the real issues that are facing them. They need to allow transportation movement to take place, mainly for their commuters, mainly for the people of the city. Safely so. Do they have capacity to protect the commuters? Yes or no? He couldn't answer that. It's 18 minutes to 5.
EWN Sport.
But someone with the answers to all issues that have got to do with sports. Someone who's not obfuscating, who's not going to run around, is definitely Tolagele Mganga with Sporting Bulletin. What's the latest? Good afternoon, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, the Springbok women will look to seal a quarter-final berth when they take on Italy in their second game of the World Cup on Sunday. Nadine Roos, Unamtose, Komisa Kawe and Eloise Webb will all start the game, while Apiwe Ngwevu moves to the bench. Coach Swayster Brain wants more of the same from South Africa, who opened their campaign with a 66-6 win over Brazil.
It's all going to start up front again. The perception is Italy is just a running team. They are not. They kick a lot and they maul a lot. So we got to prep for that. It's all going to be up front. And then that will lead to positives on defense, to positives on attack. We'll have to scrum them and maul them. The typical South African DNA against Italy.
The men have arrived in Auckland ahead of their back-to-back rugby championship tests against New Zealand in September. Assistant coach Tony Brown has discussed the importance of the clashes, with each team having lost one of their opening two games.
Every test is important. The rugby championship's always going to come down to one or two games, so hopefully we can win the key ones and make a push in New Zealand, and then hopefully go to back to South Africa with some points on the board.
Naomi Osaka says she's not focusing on whether she can win the US Open, but rather improving her game as the tournament goes on. She booked a spot in the third round after beating Hailey Baptiste in straight sets.
Honestly, I don't really know. I don't make it my business to know anymore. I kind of just leave it up in the air. For me, I realize that I've done everything that I could. I've trained really hard. I practice really hard. And if it happens, it happens. But yeah, I'm just kind of playing match by match.
Mandla Mashimbi has confirmed that former captain Dane van Niekerk will definitely not be part of the Proteas women's squad for October's 50-over World Cup. That's despite her inclusion for a training camp. On Monday, CSA announced a 20-player group that would participate in a home camp. That's after van Niekerk reversed her retirement decision. She retired from South Africa duty back in March 2023, but continued to feature in domestic cricket. However, she hasn't played since March. And Lando Norris led McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri by 0.292 seconds in first practice at the Dutch Grand Prix. Norris goes into the race trailing the Australian by 9 points in the championship. That's with 10 races to go. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Karabo Charlie, how do the roads look?
Well, if you're in the Rudeport area heading towards Kagiso, there's huge delays. This is on Randfontein Road between Collett Avenue and Adcock. Also, if you're coming from Germiston heading into the Joburg CBD, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. M2 westbound, this is between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange. Traveling through Alexandra heading towards Germiston. Also expect about a 30-minute delay. This is on the N3 southbound between the Batlu Interchange and Van Buren. Also in Midrand, Glen Austin, there's traffic pressure. This is on Allendale Road between Old Pretoria Road and Mastiff. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown, live the adventure. This message is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
13 minutes to 5 o'clock. Tolagele, Karabo are in the studio. Guys, you good? I hope you're well.
100%.
But I think 100%. You are this side for something, Mama.
She's too busy.
Yeah, she's doing her UNISA assignments here at work. I wonder if management knows that. Yeah,
pass either way.
Pass one, pass on. But listen, Tolagele, I wanted to ask both of you that what kind of angry do you do? How do you get angry? We know about the love language, but the anger language we know very little about. And many people don't want to share how angry do they get. What do you do when you're really, really angry? Do you shout? Do you scream? Or do you just become dangerously mellow and quiet and strike at the right time? I'm asking this on the backdrop of what we have seen make something that has been viral for quite some time now. The Australian lawmaker who was asked a question by a journalist, and he was fuming, very angry. The journalist asked about his Lebanese background in his family, and he literally wanted to punch the guy. He went up to him and showed him a fist. But this is what he said.
Oh, mate, don't say that, because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that. Don't you dare say that. And if you say anything like that, I have, on many occasions, punched blokes in the mouth, right? So I'm restraining myself today. Don't say it. I'm not listening to you. You're out.
Yeah, some people really get angry. Yeah. Do you get angry like that and scream at people? Or do you take it on the down low? Or are you a rational person and you say, but no, let's speak about it? Tolagele, what do you do?
I think I'm a rational person because also it takes me a long time to get angry. I might kind of, unfortunately, like let annoyance build up
Yeah.
before I finally address it. And then when it is time for like a confrontation or dealing with the moment, I'm the sort of person to kind of let you say whatever you have to say. And I'm listening. Then when I go, firstly, because now I'm listening like point by point.
Yeah.
And I know exactly like which points I want to focus on.
Yeah.
So I don't like to listen to respond, but I listen to understand.
Yeah.
But also in that, I need you to be aware of the fact that because I've taken time to hear what you're saying, I'm also going to I want the same respect in terms of my responses to you.
Yeah, but at that time, at the boiling point, are you boiling? Are you angry? Or are you calm?
I'm calm. I'm very calm. I don't know how to be in terms of my reaction.
Yeah, and you, Karamo?
Yeah, like being irrational.
At that point, you heated.
Honestly,
you heated.
it's just not worth it, hey? I just can't. And also like that violent approach. It's
Yeah.
also not me. I think it's just over the top. So usually it depends. So with my family, my close people,
Yes.
I can maybe be rational.
Yeah.
Mara why, hey.
Yeah.
And then if you become defensive and you don't get my point,
Yeah.
then I'll give you the silent treatment. But then with strangers, I'll just look at you and say, you know what, you're not worth it. I'm not even gonna waste my
So
energy
you are
on-
yourself amongst people who know you, people who love you, people that you are comfortable with.
Yes.
That's where you can sulk.
I can sulk, I
And
can
then-
do anything,
okay.
moan,
Yeah.
but then yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me also additionally in like the angry moments, the minute you start yelling, I shut down.
Oh,
so
really?
I can't even raise my reaction to match you.
Ah.
Because I'm just like, okay, you're at a point of no return and
Yes.
you can't hear anything that I have to say.
Yes. What kind of angry do you do? How angry do you get? Please let us know. Send a voice note to 072 702 1702 9 to 5.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702 indeed, and as you know, round about this time, John would be chatting to Randall on the feature called Randall One Song, and Randall always gives us one or two things to think about regarding his musical choice that he would have picked for that particular day. And today, as usual, you know the drill already. I think we've done this a couple of times. I try not to anticipate it. I try not to ask the producer what is Randall going to be chatting about because I want to be as surprised as you, and honestly so. Randall, I hope you're good. Welcome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too.
I hope you're going to dazzle me again today. Like I said, I genuinely, they'll tell you, I never ever check because I want to be bedazzled when you are giving us what do we have in store today?
Last week, we played a song that sold a lot of records in the States, but came from a very famous vocal gospel group and had a bass solo in the middle. And when I listened to it, I thought, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the bass lines in Maskandi music. I think whenever I listen to, local South African or Southern African music, because we mustn't forget that the acoustic guitar, which is so prominent and important in Maskandi music, was actually introduced in Zimbabwe in the 1930s. You know, that's where the instrumentation came from, and it really is it's a music of migrant workers. You know, they were seen. You know, someone with a guitar would play this kind of music would be like a troubadour, right? You know, singing about certain issues. And then obviously it's really important in that, quite obviously it's Zulu folk music, right?
Yeah.
But just that there are so many different influences, and even if you look at the people it's influenced, if you think of Johnny Clegg and Jaluka, right? The sound of that music and how influential it's been.
And the distinct strings, right? There are distinct strings that are playing that tells you that this is Maskandi immediately.
Absolutely. And usually it always opens, right, almost with a single vocal and then the acoustic guitar and then the bass and the drums kick in, right?
Yeah.
There are just so many of the songs that start like that. Obviously, many of them kick off with all the instruments. But for me, a great version is always, as I say, when I'm anticipating. So I hear female vocal, I hear the acoustic guitar, and then I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. You know what I mean? And I think that the fact that it's also stuck around in such a traditional form, and we're going to hear a song that is very, it's just from a year or two ago called Skanga. The fact that it's stuck around and that it's been able to maintain itself. So if you go, for example, onto TikTok or onto Reels, on some of the social media channels, there's so many people doing dances to Maskandi music, right?
Yeah.
I saw a great one, a guy and a lady were doing this. They were really, dressed up and in front of a car, and they did this really perfectly choreographed dance. So even existing beyond the music in social media. And I want to quote you composer Darius Brubeck, who taught for many years at the University of Interpol on the jazz course. He said that it's a performer of neo-traditional Zulu instrumental music, right?
Yeah.
But I suppose also the vocals are quite significant as well.
Sure. And hit us with a song. What's the title?
It's called Skanga. I'll tell you
all about it. Let's go straight to it. Randall says, and this is his choice for today. Randall, say more about the song before we say goodbye.
Tola Utando, featuring Shenge. And as I say, the thing that struck me about it, I was going to play a classic, let's say, by Busi Mhlongo.
Yes.
But then the thing that struck me about it, it's as I say, pretty new, but it maintains all the traditional elements, and yet it sounds absolutely fresh. I mean, yes, there are synthesizers in the track, so let's, get past that.
Definitely. It looks like we've lost Randall, but I think we've got the gist of the tune. And even now, there are many young men and women in KZN who still aspire to be Maskandi stars. This music is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's here to stay. And Stolu Tando is the name of the song. 2 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Willem Elson, Senior Training Coordinator at the Institute for Security Studies. What is Interpol? What is it supposed to do?
Interpol started off with about 1996 countries that formed this union. Interpol became actually the liaison office between the different countries that need to interact. More than that, it also came up with various sets of tools that can be used by your different countries. For instance, if there is a wanted person or a warrant of arrest issued for a wanted person, they can issue a red notice.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
Choose your health. Choose Clicks. Choose to speak to our pharmacists who are available to answer your questions and assist you with your medication queries, prescription advice, and more at your convenience. Choose expert healthcare advice. Choose our pharmacy chat service. Request a call back at clicks.co.za or inquire on the Clicks app today. T's and C's apply. Choose your health. Choose Clicks. Feel good? Pay less.
Hey besties, welcome to my kitchen tour, or should I say my new walk-in wardrobe. Over here we have the pantry, now home to my jeans and shirts, all color-coded. Oh, and the air fryer, literally the perfect place for my makeup brushes. And who would have thought, the oven is the place to store my handbags.
Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
This is EWN.
Power tariff hikes spark poverty fears and former Springbok coach Peter de Villiers moving on from sexual charges. Good afternoon, I'm Zingisa Chirwa. The South African Federation of Trade Unions says more electricity tariff increases will push millions of South Africans deeper into poverty. SAFTU's concerns come after NERSA reached a settlement with Eskom for an additional 54 billion rand in revenue. NERSA agreed to the multi-billion rand settlement after admitting errors in its calculations. Carlo Peterson has more.
NERSA's settlement with Eskom will phase in the 54 billion rand in additional tariffs over the next 3 years. SAFTU spokesperson Newton Masuku says the settlement is another blow for consumers already struggling with rising living costs.
These increases will deepen energy poverty as poor households are disconnected or forced to limit usage.
Eskom spokesperson Daphne Mokoena confirms a tariff increase is on the cards.
To address the adjustment, NERSA will implement a tariff increase of approximately 3% over the next 2 years.
Mokoena says both parties have committed to maintaining single-digit increases to minimize the impact on consumers. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
The South African National Taxi Council has agreed to resume operations in Ekurhuleni while discussions about a permanent resolution continue. The strike started as a result of the Department of Transport impounding taxis found to be operating without licenses. The taxi operators are required to pay 5,000 Rand each to have their vehicles released. Jabuli Lembata has more.
Santaco says it was necessary to go on the strike to emphasize how badly they were affected by having to pay 5,000 Rand for the vehicles that have been impounded. Today, the council met with the MEC of Transport, Kidiboni Diare Tlhabela, to discuss how to resolve the matter. For now, Santaco has agreed to let commuters in Ekurhuleni to use their taxis. However, the issue of impounding remains unresolved. Santaco Regional Secretary Zweli Mnisi.
However, a parallel process will be undertaken to engage and interact in resolving all the matters that we've raised with her, and hope that by the end of the day we will be able to find one another in resolving all these issues.
Santaco has apologized to commuters for the inconvenience the strike has caused. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
Another police officer linked to the murder of Gauteng crime warden Chesney Kepler has been arrested. Kepler was allegedly shot and killed by her police officer boyfriend Mandla Buthelezi after a dispute in December last year. The Independent Police Investigating Directorate says the officer is Buthelezi's friend. Ndogozo Kumalo reports.
A constable linked to Gauteng's crime prevention unit was arrested today. It is understood that the officer, who is Buthelezi's friend, was present on the day Chesney Kepler was shot. The Independent Police Investigating Directorate spokesperson Lizzie Supeng says the 35-year-old had also attacked Chesney Kepler's friends.
He allegedly assaulted Chesney Kepler's 3 friends after they were engaged in an argument with him. Thereafter, the constable fired shots in the direction of Kepler's friends, who decided to leave.
The constable is facing charges of attempted murder and defeating the ends of justice. Ndogozo Kumalo, Eyewitness News.
And former Springboks coach Peter de Villiers currently has no plans to take further action after he was acquitted on sexual assault charges. The Vredenburg Magistrate Court delivered its ruling yesterday following a hearing 2 weeks ago. The charges stem from a complaint filed while de Villiers was a member of the Good Party caucus in Vredenburg in 2024. His lawyer Hendrik Leroux says they will study the judgment.
We will at some stage address and study the case record and the judgment and decide what route Mr. de Villiers would take in future in regarding this case. But at this stage, there is no plans of continuing, if anything, further. But obviously, his rights remain reserved in this regard.
He adds while de Villiers is relieved, the matter has taken its toll.
He lost a lot in the process because in his time, he also lost 2 family members who were close to him, his wife and his daughter. And he was fighting his battle on his own.
Gold is trading at $3,436.55 an ounce. The rand is 17.69 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, and 20.68 to the euro. Brent crude is $68.25 a barrel.
Traveling into the Joburg CBD, coming from Germiston, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic M2 westbound between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange. Also in the Rudeport area, heading towards Leratong, traffic heavily backed up on Randfontein Road between Corlett Avenue and Adcock, and traveling through Midrand heading towards Centurion. There's slow-moving traffic. This is the N1 northbound between Allendale and New Road.
In US sport, Bayanda Walaza's World Championship campaign in doubt due to a hamstring injury. Springbok women look to seal quarter-final spot at the Rugby World Cup, and Chris Froome undergoes successful back surgery.
Gauteng can expect clear skies tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 15 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 15 and 30. Vereeniging also 15 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The South African Federation of Trade Unions says more electricity tariff increases will push millions of South Africans deeper into poverty.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 5:00. Welcome to it. Thabo in for John Perlman. We're together till 6. This is the final hour of the show. Really appreciate your company. You could have been anywhere else, but you always choose us. We don't take that for granted. Coming up later on the show, we'll speak about the NERSA's mistake that will cost you lots of money. And collectively, that money will amount to billions. What are we supposed to do with that? Really? Should we go to the courts about this? What is our recourse? So stay tuned to that one. And you'd remember as well that Anton Taylor, comedian and content creator, was his home was ransacked by the police. The police went to search his home and were after him after he had done a social media TikTok skit about the, now not suspended, but the Minister of Police who's on special leave. And they decided that they will go after him. We'll speak to him directly. He'll tell us the story. It's always great to hear from the horse's mouth. And of course, we continue to take your reactions regarding how angry do you get? What do you do when you are really mad? Do you shout, scream, bang at the desks, or do you just go mellow and take it easy with an ounce of rationality? I'd love to hear from you. 072 702 1702.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
From your interview with the MMC, I think it's very clear and very easy to see that the taxi associations run the transport industry, not the other way around. I want to know, why does the taxi industry, why is it the only industry in South Africa that doesn't allow fair competition? And the Competition Commission or the Competition Tribunal is not looking at the taxi industry. There's no competition, because if there was, we just end up killing each other. That's not how the South Africa should be. Something is seriously wrong and corrupt within the taxi industry and the transport departments.
Tibos and the team. Firstly, you see what I did there? I like to listen first. I like to get my facts straight, because if there's one thing I hate being wrong. And I'm normally very, very calm. I'll sort of speak to you with a single tone, one tone all the way, very, very calmly, while you are screaming, and when I'm done with you, I'm done with you. And usually I let people hang themselves, and after that, I just pull it a little bit tight, drops mic, walks off stage left. Shivers, Boksburg.
Yo, Shivers. You scare me, bro. You scare me. You look like those calculating people who don't express emotion, but take it on the down low. At the right time, wah, they pounce. And Shivas is responding to our question that we asked earlier. How do you get angry? How do you get heated? Do you take it easy, or do you scream? Do you shout? Do you go over the top, or you just let it slide? Keep those voice notes coming through, and your text messages. I would love to hear from you about those and more. It's 10 minutes after 5.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Mr. Charlie will tell us what's happening on our roads.
Well, Thabo, at this stage in the Midrand area heading towards Centurion, there's slow-moving traffic. N1 northbound between Allendale and New Road. Also still in Midrand, Glen Austin, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Allendale Road between Old Pretoria Road and Mastiff. In Kempton Park, Bashley area, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Modderfontein Road. This is between Pretoria Road and Mooifontein. If you're traveling into the Joburg CBD, that's coming in from Germiston, there's traffic pressure on the M2 westbound between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange due to an earlier accident. And in Roodepoort, heading towards Leratong, there's huge delays. Expect about a 20-minute delay on Randfontein Road between Corlett and Adcock. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 80. You ran out of petrol and had to push your car to a petrol station. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online using Pointsman Love. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Start thinking about your future degree. The IIE MSA campus in the West Rand is hosting an open day on Saturday, 30 August. Meet our academics to discuss the IIE bachelor and postgraduate degrees in a wide range of study areas. Explore the largest private higher education campus in South Africa and experience the exciting student life. For more info, visit iiemsa.co.za. IIE MSA is a leading brand of the Independent Institute of Education, a registered higher education provider.
Life's full of moments that need the right support. Whether it's a dream vacation, everyday expenses, or surprise costs, So give yourself some credit with a Visa FNB credit card, a life resource that gives you e-bucks, travel perks, interest-free periods, and more. Apply for a Visa FNB credit card online or visit your nearest branch today. Help changes everything. T's, C's, and earn rules apply. Credit is subject to meeting the qualifying criteria. FNB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Unfold extraordinary with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 5G 512 gig. Get it on a 6 gig red core plan from 1,749 per month over 36 months and double your storage with Vodacom, Mzansi's winning 5G network. Enhance your deal. Add 149 extra per month and get the Galaxy Watch 8 eSIM and Galaxy Buds 3. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Hey besties, welcome to my kitchen tour, or should I say my new walk-in wardrobe. Over here we have the pantry, now home to my jeans and shirts, all color-coded. Oh, and the air fryer, literally the perfect place for my makeup brushes. And who would have thought, the oven is the place to store my handbags.
Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
702 was live from the AXA International Indaba Conference Center as Airports Company South Africa announced their 2024-2025 annual financial results.
It's a very exciting day to announce the results for AXA with their sterling performance. What makes it so significant is that it creates a buffer, almost like a balance between aeronautical revenue, which is aviation revenue. It mitigates the risk. So you diversify revenue so that you don't have over-reliance on just one stream of income. That's a significant part of it. And it has been growing significantly, like almost balanced 50-50 with the aviation revenue in the past few years.
Airports Company South Africa is proud to be sustaining the pulse of SA's economy and global connectivity. Visit airports.co.za for more info. 702. Let's walk the talk.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
7:02 indeed, 15 after 5. Thabo in for John. Thanks for joining us. You might have seen it if you're a social media junkie when a comedian, Anton Taylor, comedian and content creator, pretended to be a criminal who had bribed a suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu, with a BMW and 3 prostitutes on TikTok. Well, he had no idea that that satirical video would result in his home being raided by the Hawks and whilst having himself questioned. Bizarre 10 of events, isn't it? Anton Taylor joins us right now. As I said, he is comedian and content creator. Anton, thanks for joining us. Welcome to 702.
Thabo, thank you so much for having me. I always love listening to you guys. And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when you did this, you didn't expect the police to be hounding your home and you didn't expect to be questioned by the authorities. How did that turn out?
Well, it was honestly the most unexpected thing I could have imagined. As someone who likes to make satirical videos, I try be quite broad on the political spectrum of who I make fun of. And, I make fun of everyone, most of all myself. And in my opinion, my jokes about Mchunu were not that bad compared to, some of the other jokes I've made. So it was just a complete state of disbelief when I found out that all of this was coming from him and, that they were charging me under crimes against the state.
Yeah, and Mchunu said he found this insulting and extremely cruel, and he was very hurt by this. I'm sure this brings to the fore the issue of line between freedom of expression and the right of others. But do you think that this somehow was overly exaggerated? If you had done this about someone else who was not that prominent, it would have been water under the bridge.
I do think so, because I have done several videos in similar veins and worse about prominent political figures, and they've had no problem. I do believe that if you are a political figure, you are sort of game for satire and for criticism. I think particularly if he truly is offended and hurt, would be sorry that he felt those ways. But at the same time, for him to escalate it to saying, well, this guy must go to prison and must be charged as if he were, committing an act of terrorism, which crimes against the state acts is, I don't think that that's right, and I don't think that that is a proportional response.
Certainly. I mean, for the benefit of our listeners who may have missed it, here's some indication of the video.
Guys, we are catching Mkhwanazi. We did it. I'm so happy, guys. We're catching him. It's like Christmas or day my divorce comes through with my third wife, that bitch. As you know, I am the foreign criminal in South Africa. And I'm making a lot of money off the drugs, the hijackings, and the cash in transit. But this general, Mkhwanazi, has been big problem, okay? He's killing my criminals in KZN like dogs. This Mkhwanazi is attacking my wallet. I'm not going to Mauritius for the holidays. I'm going to Gordons Bay. And I'm not getting these high-class escorts anymore. I must buy the prostitutes from the Kenilworth. It's big dive for me and I'm very unhappy. Recently, my guy, Senzo Mkhuno, the head of police, is finally saying he's coming for Mkhwanazi. Masibiyoze, guys, halala. I had to pay Mkhuno a lot of money, and I'm giving him a BMW, and I'm paying for the 3 prostitutes. But the reason I get them to investigate Mkhwanazi is because I'm telling them, you are next, Mkhwanazi, he's not stopping with these hijackers and the criminals and the drug mafia. He's coming for the politicians. So I convince them, you must be very scared. I'm celebrating because it's like so obvious that Mkhwanazi comes for the criminals and the politicians, and now they're investigating him. So now the only problem that can happen is if the people get angry and they rise up and they shout at the politicians. So for me, all the criminals, what we pray is that the public does not protect Mkhwanazi.
Well, that was the voice of comedian and content creator who's my guest right now. And he had the Hawks coming to his place and questioned by authorities about that video he had made on social media. Where to from here? Did the Hawks tell you, Anton Taylor, what exactly were they looking for?
Oh, yes, they had a search and seize warrant for my cell phone. They took my phone. They took it for 2 weeks. They said that they needed to prove that the video came from my phone, which was quite strange because we said, my lawyers, my legal counsel said, we will, we will write an admission to say that I posted it. You don't need to take the phone. It was then we were waiting on the decision of the prosecutor on whether or not they would prosecute with the case and choose to pursue. And it was about 10 days, 2 weeks ago that I got via WhatsApp the communication that they would not be pursuing so. So for me, I'm in the clear in that respect. Just very happy to have escaped any of this drama.
And back to doing more videos?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been more motivated. I mean, I had to, I can tell you the hardest thing I had to do was bite my tongue. This happened 2 months ago that the Hawks, raided my home, but because it was an active case, you can't make a statement about it.
Yeah.
Sort of, anything you say can or will be used against you kind of thing. So as soon as this got dropped, I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I've been greatly looking forward to the day that I could bring it to light, and that day has arrived.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of videos in store, I can tell you that.
We look forward to those. Comedian never learns. 22 minutes after 5.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
Nhlanhla Ngidi is joining us now, where Nhlanhla is head of energy and electricity at SALGA. And this is on the backdrop of the NERSA confirming 58 billion rand secret settlement with Eskom and their big error that they had committed, which is going to affect both you and I. Nhlanhla Ngidi, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Good afternoon, my good sir, and thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon to also your listeners at home.
Yeah, for purposes of clarity in a very interesting way, briefly, Nhlanhla, please explain to us in layman's terms this mistake that NERSA committed. How is it affecting us, and what was the mistake exactly?
Oh, devastating, my good sir. I think what has happened is there's a regulatory framework which NERSA uses to regulate the pricing of Eskom, and it's called multi-year price determination.
Yes.
So usually when they make a determination, the price that they will determine, or the price increases, will be over 3 years. I think in the past it would go for over 5 years, but lately it has changed to make it to be over 3 years. There had already been a decision on this current multi-year price determination, but ever since NERSA made a decision on it, Eskom had attacked it, or they've scrutinized it and opposed it, and the matter even went to court. And I think eventually NERSA and Eskom decided to settle the matter out of court behind the closed doors, and obviously looking at the prudency of the Eskom's case and the NERSA decision that had been made on the current prices, it means that Eskom's case was valid according to NERSA. And this now, as much as that case is valid, then NERSA has had to review what it had already given to Eskom for the next 3 years, to actually increase it further for Eskom to recoup about 54 billion from you and me. Now, this issue now goes back to the members that I'm representing, which is municipalities. It means that now municipalities, after they had anticipated these 3 yearly prizes that have been decided upon, they've anticipated it, they've looked at their budgets, and obviously anticipated certain increases for the next 3 years. And to some extent, customers and communities has been consulted on that. So now this means obviously for us unrest, because we're going to go back and look very, very unprofessional to the customer. That we are now, because of what has happened now between Eskom and NERSA behind closed doors, we're forced to actually offset this blunder to you.
And
so basically, this is the issue.
Yeah, and it will amount now to about 94 billion.
I haven't had the numbers recently, but yesterday when the decision came out, it was about 54 billion, which adds some few percentages over 3 years of the Eskom approved tariffs. And I mean, 54 billion, 94 billion, but it's still devastating for the customer. Sure. And the expectation, I'm sorry, I know we have limited time. The expectation is that 60% of that revenue is going to be collected by municipalities. And it means 60% of that customer base, the municipality must face difficulty with them.
Nhlanhla, any recourse that people who are listening to us can have, either legally or otherwise, to make sure that this mistake is not absorbed by them? In just a few sentences, do we have any recourse?
Look, I think I'm going to try to be very careful with this. Publicly, it has been advertised that, or it has been publicized that NERSA has made a mistake and they have agreed to Eskom's inputs or Eskom's assertions that they've made a mistake, and as a result need to increase further and give Eskom more money, which means this decision is saying we must be default financiers of Eskom. Yeah. And a normal customer out there does have a recourse to this, because it's a mistake that is going to be devastating to the incomes of the customer.
Sure. Nhlanhla, thanks very much. I mean, it needs to be said that we did try to get hold of NERSA and ESCOM respectively so that we can put these questions directly to them in order to get some answers for you of accountability. They didn't come on. So I just want you to know that as much as I want to give heat, I couldn't give it to Nhlanhla because his work is head of energy and electricity at SALGA. So we will, I'm sure, endeavor to make sure that they get the heat that is due to them. 27 after 5.
EWN Business.
With the SG of Broadcasting, Stephen Groot is here in Joburg Studios. Welcome, Steve.
Tabo, good afternoon. Yeah, the JSE All Share ending the day flat, down 0.02% at 101,836 points. Financials down 1.11%. Industrials up 0.05% and resources up 1%. And if you consider the gold prices kind of heading way past $3,400, that's no surprise. MAS ending the day down nearly 4% today. It's the Romanian property group. They did increase their full year earnings by nearly 30%. Does look now like Prime Capital Investments has been able to tighten their control of it. First Rand down 2.31%, and then Northern Platinum recovering a little bit towards the end of the day, down 2.28%. They did report their operating earnings down by 25% year on year, despite the fact platinum prices were generally speaking higher. Much higher electricity costs having an impact. They spent 3 billion Rand on electricity. Big conversation. We'll do this in the market segment on the Money Show tonight about who's right about the platinum price. Impala Platinum last night, very optimistic in the short term. They expect prices to be supportive for 18 months. Paul Dunn, the CEO at Northern Platinum, not so much. Does say, though, by 2030 there'll be a big platinum deficit, so things will change. It all hinges on what happens in China, bizarrely. All about electric cars.
Yeah.
Investec are down 2% on the day. They're not the only financial share. Old Mutual also down 1.77%, and ABSA down 1.5%. It's been quite an interesting week for a new company on the JSE, ASP Isotopes. They're up 18% on the day, and that's sort of just, the way that a new listing works sometimes. So their price doing very nicely. Telkom's up 3.32%, Kumba up 2.42%. They've had a strong week. And then some of the gold miners, Harmony, Goldfields, are up quite strongly on the day. News today that Rio Tinto is going to place Richards Bay Minerals under review. It's part of a much bigger shakeup. There's a new CEO at Rio Tinto. All of that likely to have an impact at some point on whether or not that company maybe does, in fact, get sold. In the US, the Dow Jones down 1/3%, the NASDAQ down 1.17%, the S&P 500 down 0.7% at the moment. The gold price right now is $3,440.79 an ounce. Platinum $1,351.20. Brent crude $67.37. And the rand to the dollar 17.66, to the euro 20.64, to the British pound 23.85. On the Money Show tonight, we will talk about a merger, a purchase in a very important industry. It's the toy industry. I don't know what the demand for toys is. My children are thankfully a little older now.
Lucky you.
Yes. So we'll talk about a merger there. We will also talk about what's happening at Ford. Unfortunately, retrenchment's coming, it seems. There's a lot going on around the car industry at the moment. And then also we will look at one of the world's best toffee recipes. Everything to come on the Money Show tonight. Something to lick your lips at. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Always surprising stuff that Stephen brings on the Money Show, not to be mixed, between 6 and 8 o'clock. 29 to 6. And Zingeso is standing by to give us the latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Zingeso, good afternoon again.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia says he is still awaiting a detailed report from National Police Commissioner Fani Masemula about allegations suggesting that 121 dockets were removed from the KZN Political Killings Task Team. Masemula announced yesterday that the dockets in question will be returned to the unit from the Office of Crime Detection Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sibia. Kachalia has raised concerns about the move before the Commission of Inquiry into Political Interference in the Criminal Justice System is able to investigate matters surrounding the task team. Minister spokesperson Gamogelo Mogodzi.
I recognize that the allegations made in relation to the Political Killings Task Team are of immense public interest. The Political Killings Task Team is at the center of the allegations made by the Provincial Commissioner and will be dealt with by the Commission.
A key witness in the Lusiki massacre has linked accused one, Mzukisi Ndamase, with the August 2024 Gwapaka murder. An ANC politician and businessman was shot and killed in this incident. Investigators in the case have linked the firearms used in Gwapaka with those used in Kopozana mass killing. 18 people were shot and killed in that area last year. 2 weeks ago, forensic and ballistic experts testified about aspects of both crime scenes. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports from Lusiki.
The Mthatha High Court sitting in Lusiki had evidence from a key state witness who was initially arrested with the group accused of the Ngobozana massacre and later turned state witness. In a packed courtroom, he testified about how accused one Mzukisi Ndamase sold drugs while in prison. He also detailed Ndamase's alleged intention to have businessman and politician Mncedisi Gijana, who allegedly sold drugs, killed in order to take over his territory. The witness says months later, accused one sent him a picture of the politician's dead body. He says a few minutes later, he called him and told him that he ordered Gijana to be killed. The state has since charged Ndamase for the Gwapaka murder as well. The matter has been rolled over to Monday, where the state intends to lead more crucial evidence. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusiki in the Eastern Cape.
And Western Cape Mobility MEC Isaac Silegu has published a notice proposing the temporary closure of certain routes affected by the ongoing taxi violence. Gun violence led to a feud between Kata and Kadeta taxi associations erupted in parts of Cape Town this week, claiming the lives of 5 people. A dispute over a route from Ekurhuleni and Khayelitsha to Somerset West is suspected to be behind the attacks. The provincial administration has secured a court interdict to help stop the violence. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Western Cape Provincial Mobility MEC Isaac Silegu says both Kata and Kodeta have been summoned to appear before the Provincial Taxi Registrar to explain why they have failed to comply with the industry's code of conduct. Silegu says taxi operators may have their operating licenses suspended if they fail to provide satisfactory reasons.
No one would want to go this route. It's a last resort. But, unfortunately, as government, we cannot fold our arms while people are dying on our roads, while people's safety has been compromised.
Public comments on the proposal to temporarily close certain taxi routes will be opened until Monday. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Clear skies are in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows of 15 degrees and peak at highs of between 28 and 30.
In Rudaport, heading towards Kagiso, there's heavy delays on Randfontein Road between Milestalker and Adcock. Also slow-moving traffic traveling through Southgate. That's on the N12 westbound approaching Uncle Charlie's interchange. And also driving into Soweto, Chris Hani Road. There's heavy delays on Chris Hani Road between the N1 and Mujaji Street.
The top story in EWN, Acting Police Minister Feroz Kacharia says he's still awaiting a detailed report from National Police Commissioner Fani Masemula about allegations suggesting that 121 dockets were removed from the KZN Political Killings Task Team.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
On the Midday Report, every day from 12 to 1 p.m, we will bring you breaking news from the scene as it unfolds with newsmakers, reporters, commentators, experts and analysts. We'll explain the stories of the day, give you context for why they are important and what they mean for you. It is everything you need to know in 1 hour, from news to global events, business, sports, science, books and always some good news too. Appointment listening every day at 12 with the Midday Report.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair is here. Enjoy unbeatable savings on skincare that loves your skin as much as you do. Glow, hydrate and radiate. From expert-approved dermacosmetics to everyday essentials, we have the perfect match for your skin and your budget. Our skincare specialists are on hand, ready to help you find the best for your skin. Don't miss Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair. Now on. Stock up on skincare, cosmetics and fragrances at prices you will love. Offers valid until 14 September.
Mzansi, the Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots estimated at a total 85 million rand are your chance at an unforgettable Friday. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 37 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 48 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Handa, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Ekurhuleni?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga, who'll give us the very latest in the world of sports. Good afternoon and welcome one more time, Tolagele.
Thanks so much, Tabo. The Springbok women returned to World Cup action on Sunday in their second group game against Italy. A win for Swaysterbrain's side will see them through to the quarterfinals, having started their campaign with a 66-6 win over Brazil.
Making history, the pressure is going to be too much. We cannot think of the outcome. We've got to think of the process, the next scrum, the next tackle, the next maul. Everyone's asking me the same question. You'll have to win. It's now winning and losing. And soon as that's your mindset, obviously we want to win. But the talk must be next job, not the result.
Round 5 of the Betway Premiership is scheduled for this weekend, and one of the clashes to look forward to sees Stellenbosch up against defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Miguel Cardoso has discussed the Brazilians' current injury crisis.
No one knows that Motobi Mbala had a setback on his knee. Kekana, you saw how he played last match, that he suffered, he struggled inside the pitch, he handled it, but he had a knock, big strong knock on the knee. Motobi is training normal. Grant will return to training sessions quickly. We are recovering Tembazwane. Massacre had an injury. Divine Lunga finished the match with Orlando Pirates, as you saw, with a big contusion on the ribs. So we also made an assessment on him today. I don't know exactly the result of the scan.
Ruben Amorim has blamed his emotions for his post-match comments after their defeat to Grimsby, with the Manchester United boss insisting he's not considering his future at the club. In the immediate aftermath of that League Cup defeat, the Portuguese coach said his team were completely lost and something had to change. They've yet to win their 3 games in all competitions this season and next take on Burnley in the Premier League.
If you have this kind of behavior, you have to understand that you have things that is good on that type of behavior, that you have the other side of the coin. So I understand that. And again, sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years. Sometimes I love to be with my players. Sometimes I don't want to be with him. So I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard, but now I'm focused in the next game.
At the same time, Fenerbahce have sacked Jose Mourinho 2 days after they were eliminated from the UEFA Champions League following a playoffs defeat to Benfica, while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is also unemployed. That's after he was fired by Turkish club Besiktas following defeat to Lausanne in the Conference League playoffs on Thursday. And Lando Norris topped both practices ahead of the Dutch Grand Prix. The Brit was fastest in the first ahead of McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri and then ahead of Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso in the second. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, who'll give us the very latest. How's the traffic looking? Red, green or amber?
Well, it is looking very slow at this stage, heading into Soweto. There's slow-moving traffic on Chris Hani Road. This is between the N1 and Mujaji Street. That's approaching Maponya Mall. Also, bumper traffic in the Rudiport area, Randfontein Road, between Milestalker and Adcock. You can expect about a 20-minute delay through them. Also, still slow-moving traffic heading into the Joburg CBD. That's coming from the Germiston area. M2 westbound between Heidelberg Road and the Crown Interchange. Also, there's slow-moving traffic in the Midrand area. This is the N1 northbound between Allendale and New Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Your workday calls for more performance, more doing the impossible, more challenge accepted. Your weekends demand more excitement, more detours, more limitless living. And the new GWM P300 LS is where it all comes together. Bring it on in the new P300 LS with a 2.4 turbo diesel and 12.3-inch touchscreen from only $5,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners.
And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Every day, most of us spend an hour in the food aisle, stressing about what to make for dinner. That's 29,200 hours of your life spent shopping and deliberating over what's for dinner. Why not trade that internal drama for watching a little on-screen drama? Or whatever else you want to do. And let You Cook handle dinner. Delivered, prepped, and ready to cook. So, choose You Cook and take back some me time. Visit youcook.co.za to find out how.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
A song, a book, and a dish.
On 702.
17 minutes to 6 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us here on 702. My name is Tabo. I'm standing in for John. We're together till 6. Our time together is shrinking very quickly. And at this point, we would be talking about a song, a book, and a dish, and having an interesting guest. It's no different today as we introduce Professor Seth Cooper, whom you'd know very well. Especially in the psychology industry, but prior to that, as an activist of BC. And of course, he was the number one accused in the SASO BPC trial. And he needs no introduction in the South African landscape. He joins us today for that feature. Prof, we're privileged to have you on. Welcome to 702.
Thank you very much.
On this particular segment, we are more keen on the things that I've spoken about. But maybe before you even get to a book, a song, and a dish, share a little bit of where you grew up as the young man and which streets were you running around, and give us a bit of a picture about that place.
Well, I grew up in a rural area, past Claremont, now called Kwadebeka. It was called Kranskloof Farm then, between Claremont and Wybank and the Umgeni River. So there were hardly many streets. There were just dusty, corrugated roads, if you like. And that was an idyllic rural existence where I had a few cares in the world at that time.
Yeah. And what sort of family did you come from? Was it a typical nuclear family with a picket fence and a dog?
Well, we had dogs. But my father and his siblings bought pieces of land there, and they all had their homes and farmed. Each of them had about 100 acres which they farmed. The usual subtropical fruits, bananas, pineapples, and so on. And my father was a little bit of an exception because he ventured into other things. And he sort of styled himself as a squire. And from early childhood, I mean, I used to see his letterhead, and it was A.P. Cooper, ESQ. And when I was old enough to look at the dictionary, I looked at what that was. ESQ was an abbreviated form of squire. So he fashioned himself as a squire and, always had collars, stiff collars, ties. And imagine, this is a humid environment where just having a collar is punishment enough, but always had a tie, a hat, and so on. So that was the kind of early life I experienced.
Yeah, and at that time in Claremont, what sort of food was on your table? Either in the evening or during Sunday lunches, what sort of food were you indulged with?
Well, look, we lived together with other people, particularly Africans, and I used to be invited to many houses, sometimes little huts, and sometimes a lean-to. And people were generally poor, but they shared what they had. So I was exposed to all sorts of food, and I grew to like samp with more beans than the samp. And I reconnected with that, ironically, in prison, because in prison, one got samp at lunchtime, just plain samp. And that's what you ate. Of course, when I was convicted on Robben Island, there was different diets according to your race classification. So Africans got the samp, and Khalids and Indians got mealie rice. Now, you know how terrible mealie rice is, and especially when you have nothing to eat it with. So we swapped. I mean, we swapped, and that's stayed with me. And I now and then try to cook it if I have the time. But I like it with little bits of meat, a little spicy, if you like, not too spicy, because for over 8 years I didn't have spices in my life, so it's just a touch of spice, if you like.
And I'm keen during those 8 years, especially in Robben Island, I'm keen to know the sort of literature that you had access to, if any at all, and how you kept yourself busy. Because I mean, few people know that your ilk, especially the Sasso guys who were taken to Robben Island, and you were more radical than Malema. He had nothing on you whatsoever, and it must have been a very difficult time, given that there were no rights at all. It's easier for Thabo to be radical today because I'm protected by the Constitution. You had nothing to fall back on, and your radicalism was extremely vehement. I'm wondering about this literature that you were exposed to, especially in Robben Island, Prof.
Well, frankly, there was no literature. There were quite a few Afrikaans novellas and a lot of Westerns in that little library that they brought around. And so all of us, the SASO BPC 9, we went through the Zane Greys of this world and so on, the cowboys, Westerns, quite quickly. And while others were allowed to study, our group, because we were all young intellectuals, and because we opposed the system, and we got there at the end of 1976, so there was another group from the University of the Western Cape that we joined, and we were isolated from the rest of the prison. We were regarded as original COVID that is going to infest the prison population, because we would greet each other in wherever we were with fists held high, you know. And getting to prison, it was a quiet environment, unlike even the awaiting trial prisons where people sang. And they sang the usual doleful songs, including Senzenina and so on. But here, there was no singing. And that became something of an ordeal. So we began to do our own thing. And the rules were that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and we insisted on getting the regulations. Let's see the regulations, because we knew that some of the stuff that they were imposing on us was taking a chance.
Sure.
And we read the regulations and said, this is what we're entitled to. So even food, we used to say, where's this and where's that? And there was a time when they brought scales to weigh the pap. Can you imagine weighing the pap? And then it prevented you from going out to the quarry to work, and they quickly gave that up after a few days. So it's stuff like that, pushing the envelope, because it was literally a time when you could be killed. And I remember very distinctly about that week that Biko was killed in police custody. We got the news that he had been killed.
Yes.
And all of us were stunned by that. And actually, Steve was protected by us because they always wanted to know, wie is Frank? And we said, Frank who? Frank Tolkman. Frank Tolk. And we said, that's a pseudonym. Pseudo what?
Yes.
And they beat the living daylights out of you. And each one of us said, no, we don't know. So it was Srini Mudli, who was the editor of the newsletter, who said it was he. So he got charged as a result of Steve's writing. And when Steve got into the witness box and he started speaking about his writing, the judge was flummoxed and asked the Attorney General, but this is something that somebody else has been charged with. And Steve said, no, I don't know why you've charged him, because it's I who wrote this stuff. The one thing we did not do is we did not speak about anybody else.
Yes.
If Thabo and I were in the same place, I would say I was there and I did this and I did that. And then they would come back and say, no, Thabo was there. Was Thabo there? And then you'll add it to your statement.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
In order not to
really
implicate, of course.
Of course, you didn't want anybody to be implicated. And we had our own system of communication, even during detention, where we warned each other about certain things. So, in a sense, we were a little bit brazen, a little bit ahead of our time, and using a word like black, which means, if you look at the dictionary, it means terrible thing. This is a black day. It's depressing, etc. We arrogated that into being young, gifted, and black, and that kind of approach was something that we reveled in. And of course, that goes to your song.
I want to come to that in a while, in a short while. But of course, those Western cowboys books that you've found in prison, are they not necessarily your favorite? You cited Because I Write What I Like as one of your favorite books that you chose for today. And in part, I quote, it says, those who know define racism as discrimination by a group against another for purposes of subjugation or maintaining subjugation. In other words, one cannot be a racist unless he has the power to subjugate. Very powerful coming from Biko. And Biko was your contemporary. People forget that.
Yes, he was. He was in first year at medical school, and I got into University College. I was younger than he was, and that's how we connected. In 1968, it was University College. It was reserved only for Indians. And that was something that went against the grain of quite a few of us. And the following year, we heard that it was going to become a university granting its own degrees. The same happened to Zululand, Western Cape, the University College, the North, now Limpopo, all the colleges. We used to call them bush colleges because literally they were in the bush, whereas most of the others were in cities or towns. And we opposed that system. And in 1969, I was expelled for opposing the creation of the University of Durban-Westville. And my originally suspended, and then it became an expulsion on condition I don't set foot on that campus and at the University of Durban-Westville when it's founded at all. But of course I did. And after Tiro was expelled at the University of the North, and every campus went on boycott, I was involved in making many campuses go out on boycott. And the rest is history.
Sure.
The following year, we were banned. The first 8, Bani Pichana, Steve Biko, Harry Nengokulu, and so on, and house arrested. And you know, when you're 22 and you're restricted to your flat with your mother and 2 brothers, and you're not supposed to be with more than one person at a time.
Yes.
And of course, 4 of us lived in the house. So in that flat. So it was quite something, because you want to be outside, but from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. you restricted to the apartment.
Yes.
And the weekend was verboten.
I have to sadly end it at that with your favorite song, Prof. I could talk to you for hours and hours on end, but please share with us the song that you chose this afternoon.
Yes, Nina Simone's Young, Gifted and Black. The same year I was expelled from University College, and the album that followed, Black Gold. It it speaks to people being free to be themselves. And it's, the words are striking, and wish that the millions out there who are on the peripheries really take to heart the lyrics of that song. And Nina Simone says there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black, and that's a fact. And it's a lovely, precious dream, she says.
Yes.
And yes, you are young, all out there. And nobody should make you a nothing, a nihil. Do not allow you to be called something else.
Prof,
be yourself.
It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it. Nina Simone, to be young, gifted and black.
We must begin to tell our young. There's a world waiting for you. Yours is the quest that's just begun. When you're feeling real low, yeah, there's a great truth that you should know. When you're young, gifted and black, your soul's intact.
Nina Simone, to be young, gifted and black, the choice of Professor Seth Cooper, one of the 9 SASO BPC trialist who spent years and years on Robben Island. It's been fantastic being with you for the past 3 hours or so. Coming up next, Stephen Grootes, the SG of broadcasting, with the fantastic Money Show. And remember to keep it tuned here on 702 throughout the day. It's 6 o'clock.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, proud sponsor of the SARA Rail Conference 2025, powering progress, connecting economy.